Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and dearly beloved, we are gathered here today with funeral-like vibes as we are about to watch this sad and dreadful football team known as the Pittsburgh Steelers once again. Morale and faith in this group is at an all-time low from the fan base. Change needs to happen. Will it happen? Probably not. But we are here yet again today to watch the same bad movie again, most likely. And by some a sick and twisted humor of the football gods, everything is in front of the Steelers today. They enter the hellhole of Baltimore, Maryland this afternoon to take on their most hated, yet, I believe, respected division rival in the Ravens, with pretty much all the marbles on the line. What does that mean? We are going to break down and talk about here for the next couple of minutes before kickoff. We will go over the top stories heading into today's football game, some key matchups that I will be locking into this afternoon, who will be inactive for both of these squads, and, time permitting, my final predictions for this contest. But before we get into all of that, if you are new here, welcome all of you to the Steel City Sports Report. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Leave a like, share this live stream, and in the comments section, any thoughts, questions, thoughts that you have throughout the football game here today, please, by all means, put those in the comments section. I enjoy interacting with you fine folks. You give different perspective on the game. I like interacting, and we can talk things out in real time that way. Also, be sure to go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. To the comment section we go before we begin pregame notes and coverage here for today's matchup. Freight Train, first in the comment. Welcome back, Freight Train. Lance33, shout out from Mon Valley. There, Lance, he is in here as well. Don't forget, the highest paid defense in the NFL as well. Don't need any sort of reminder there, Lance. That just adds on to the suck feeling of this entire football team right now. So we definitely will not forget that. We will talk about that highest paid defense in the NFL's last performance coming up here in a matter of moments. Concepts coming in here as well. What is going on, Concepts? Keep those comments rolling in here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right into it. We will go over some pregame notes and news for today's game. Want to start with the top stories for today's game. I got two, and top one here. This is somehow a game for first place in the division. Two things that I'm about to say, I have no idea which is crazier. I don't know if it's crazier that both of these teams have the same awful record of 6-6, and one of these teams by the end of things today is going to have some annoying ass record. You know what it is. Kids all of a sudden are doing this now today, and that's going to make a loss for either of these teams even that more unbearable. So I don't know if it's crazier that both of these teams are 6-6, or that this game is by some miracle for sole possession of first place in the AFC North. Looking back before the season, we all probably would have thought that the Steelers, at least record-wise, would be in a similar spot to where they are. But we would have thought that they have been playing better on both sides of the ball instead of just being straight ass, quite honestly, on offense and defense. The eye test hasn't shown them to be anywhere near as good as what they should be. For the Ravens, though, I would have expected, preseason-wise at this point in the year for them to be at least a game or two up on the Steelers in the division race because they have Lamar Jackson. But fast forward to today, both of these teams with nasty-looking warts in their play and having dealt with major injuries throughout the season, they find themselves in similar positions today, treading water, trying to keep their head above water, maybe push the other team below the waterline a little bit today and see if they can get out of these murky waters. However, if you know AFC North football, it's that these games, they are highly unpredictable, and we could see anything today, especially with these two head coaches going at it. Today, the NFL's two longest tenured head coaches, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, they will square off for the 39th time in their careers. That is second most times that NFL coaches have faced each other in NFL history, behind only Curly Lambeau and George Halas, those gentlemen doing it 49 times. When these two coaches meet, they always try to outsmart each other, which I think half the time turns into one or the other self-sabotaging each other. So that's entertaining. This matchup today will especially be interesting because somehow both starting quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, this is the first time that these two are playing each other. So I thought that was crazy. Factoring all this in, I am banking on this being a wild and entertaining showdown here today where we could see anything. We could see the best of these teams. We could see the worst of these teams. Who knows what to expect? That's AFC North football. Also, this is pretty much a win or go home today for both of these squads, despite them meeting again one other time at the end of the season. A win today skyrockets the playoff chances of one team and plummets the other because the wild card race, I don't think that's an option for either team right now. So let's try to put everything aside of what we've seen from these two teams this season, and let's enjoy the most consequential, probably heartache-filled game of the year. How about it, ladies and gentlemen? Story number two that I will be looking for today as well. What Steelers run defense will show up today? You know, speaking of consequences, Steelers run defense lately, it has been a massive issue for the Steelers that has resulted in them losing games. All year, this run defense, hot and cold, and that's putting it optimistically nice. But they just had the low light performance of the decade, maybe even of the century last week against the Buffalo Bills, coming off a performance where they gave up 249 rushing yards, mainly off the legs of James Cook. And they gave up those 249 rushing yards with the Bills running the same exact play in terms of, you know, formation and execution and everything. They ran the exact same play about 25 times, maybe even more, and they got those 249 yards doing that. Couple that performance with who the Steelers are trying to stop in the backfield today. Not many people, in fact, really no one, is going to give this run defense a chance. They today going to be tasked with stopping the king, Derrick Henry. He, after a slow, rocky start to the season, has found his game again. But honestly, if Henry was still shaky coming into this game like he was in the beginning of the season, I would still treat him as the biggest threat because he, along with Lamar Jackson, nearly rushed for 300 yards, not even a calendar year ago when these two teams last met in the wild card matchup back earlier this year. That performance and last week's performance, they are burned into the psyche of the Steelers and Steelers fans. But wouldn't it be typical of the Steelers to, you know, go out there and have one of their best performances of the year today, look like gangbusters? I'm not going to hold my breath, but it would be hilarious. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a half-assed transition into today's key matchups. Key matchup number one today. It's going to feature the Steelers D-line and how they will try to stop Henry. My first matchup, a little bit of an outside-the-box one, but I do like it, and that is rookie defensive lineman Y.A. Black going up against this Ravens interior of their offensive line. After that ugly performance last season in the wild card game against the Ravens, the Steelers more or less focused their offseason around making sure that exact situation to that team and that running back didn't happen again. So what did the Steelers do? They went out, they got two physically large, imposing defensive linemen in the draft. Now it sucks that the first one of those two, Derek Harmon, will not play today, along with many others on the D-line. But that doesn't lessen my expectations for Y.A. Black. Yes, he hasn't, you know, been as noticeable as what we would like recently, as he's, you know, getting used to more and more playing time due to injuries. But this is what you were brought in to do, Y.A. Black. So I want to see a big game from him today. He was brought in for this exact situation. Hopefully the Steelers bringing in a guy for this exact situation pans out better than the Steelers bringing in all the corners they did to stop Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. But I want to see a big game from Y.A. Black today. Also, someone on that D-line needs to step up after last game. Cam Hayward's showing his age. Keanu Benton, hit or miss on whether he holds his gap or position off the snap. So Black, want to see a big game from him today. That would be massive for the Steelers. If not, it's going to be a long, long day trying to tackle Derrick Henry. Matchup number 2, rolling through these quickly. Whoever versus Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews didn't have him, reverting back to his form 3 or 4 days ago, or 3 or 4 years ago on my bingo card. Andrews telling fellow tight end Isaiah Likely, hold on, young whippersnapper. I'm putting up, 5 touchdowns already this season, and also earning myself a 3-year extension with the Ratbirds. So Mark Andrews, he is back in a big way. Looking at today's matchup, I don't know who the Steelers put on him. Do they put a linebacker on him, which, the way linebackers have covered tight ends this season, yikes. Do they move Jalen Ramsey down a little bit from safety to cover him? You risk then taking deep shots, getting deep shots taken on you down the field with no Kyle Duggar today. Brandon Echols, maybe you put him there, but you be stretching your corner room thin with the other wide receivers you have to cover. So once again, Mark Andrews back to being a dangerous receiving option for Lamar Jackson. Who the Steelers put on him, that could be the difference between, keeping him fairly silent or watching him score 3 touchdowns today. So please, Steelers, make the right decision there. And my last matchup here today before kickoff, the Steelers wide receivers versus these Ravens defensive backs. Both units, I think, in their own distinct ways, have struggled a bit this season. The Ravens, they were at one time were banged up to hell and back on the back end. In the Steelers' passing attack, it has been meager all year long. The Steelers today, they are going to at least try something new. New weapons here today. Adam Thielen claimed off of waivers earlier this week from the Vikings. He is active today and will play. I think I saw something from Jay Glazer as well. He, along with Marquez Valdez-Scantling, finally elevated from the practice squad. Those 2 gentlemen active today. We might see a bunch of them, so at least the Steelers are trying something new. The reason why I also have this as a big matchup, you're entering now the home stretch of the season. If either of these 2 teams are going to be taken serious in the playoffs, then one of these units is going to need to have a get-right game today and show that they are capable of being a formidable unit heading into the second half of the season. So those are my matchups that I'm looking forward to today. Now on to inactives here as the game comes live here to my right. Steelers inactives today. We just talked about wide receivers there for a second. A surprise healthy inactive today. Wide receiver Roman Wilson not playing today. He is going to be on the sidelines in street clothes. He has been part of the wide receiver struggles this season and hasn't seen the field as much as we would have thought. But, he kind of hasn't done anything, to not warrant him being sat down today. I'm interested to know what y'all think, but being scratched over a 32-year-old practice squatter and a 35-year-old who's been here for 4 days, that may be the knockout blow to Wilson's short and severely underwhelming Steelers career. All you can say is damn, and you hope, maybe he figures out something if he comes back next year. But at this point, I don't know. Will Howard, emergency QB3 here today. Kyle Duggar, mentioned him. He will not play for the Steelers today. Popped up on the injury report Thursday with a hand injury. Hasn't practiced since. Hopefully he won't miss much time. I'm worried about that. Chuck Clark and Jabril Peppers will be taking over for his spot today, which, don't need to say much beyond that. God help us. Calvin Anderson, he's out today with a knee injury, backup offensive tackle. Broderick Martin-Rhodes, Keyshawn Williams, 2 healthy inactives, and the last inactive today for the Steelers, rookie starting defensive end Derek Harmon, 2nd straight game missed with a knee injury for him. In addition to MVS being elevated from the practice squad today, Steelers also bringing up offensive tackle Dylan Cook from the practice squad. He will replace Calvin Anderson. No other Steeler on Friday's injury report will have a game designation today. The only other injury update we have today, this one a minor one, injured reserve rookie corner Dante Kent sustained a new injury returning to practice this week. He will be out the rest of the 2025 season. For the Ravens, looking at their inactives today, just 5 inactives. Cooper Rush, emergency QB3. Guard Ben Cleveland, tackle Joseph Noteboom, wide receiver Devontae Walker, and defensive tackle Aeneas Peebles. I think all 5 of those gentlemen not missing due to injury. They may just be healthy inactive. So that is the pregame notes. Game over here to my right. Now coming on, and Ray Lewis is hyping up the crowd there at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. The weather there in Baltimore, it is a cloudy 42 degrees. Sounds like AFC North football. No precipitation. Let's get this party started, ladies and gentlemen. You guys lighting up the comment section. I promise I will get caught up on those here in a moment. The Steelers, they are going to start this game on defense. Chris Boswell is about to boot this one away and get things started. Back to receive today for Baltimore on the kickoff, you got Rasheen Ali and I think Keaton Mitchell as well. So a pair of backup running backs. Chris Boswell runs up, boots this one away, and let the fun begin. This is going to be Rasheen Ali, or no, that's Mitchell bringing it out, and Ben Skoranek is going to lay a hefty hit right there on the backup to Derrick Henry. Brings that ball out to around the 25-yard line. And here we go. The Ravens offense and Lamar Jackson now taking the field. Jackson, should have mentioned him in the Ravens injury report. He only practicing in a limited or full capacity on Friday. Did not practice Wednesday or Thursday with an ankle injury. So that will hamper his mobility a little bit here today. Looks like we got 12 personnel here for the Ravens to start. Likely in motion. Pass is going to be out to the motioning likely here to the right, and that is going to be a gain of somewhere between 4 or 5 yards. No, actually more than that. They're going to give him 7 on that catch. Was motioning towards the Ravens sideline. Jackson hits him immediately. That's a 7-yard gain there for the Ravens on the first play from scrimmage here this afternoon. Was knocked out of bounds, was likely. 2nd and 3 now. Double back set here for the Ravens. It's going to be a handoff to Derrick Henry, and he is going to pick up the first down with ease, running through multiple arm tackles there. Gets up to the 40-yard line. That moves the chains for Baltimore. Steelers that time, looks like they only were rushing 3. And now even more of an issue here. We got an injury here for the Steelers. Not sure who that is. Is it Keanu Benton or Jabril Peppers? I saw Jabril Peppers blitz on that play. A delayed blitz from Peppers. He went down hard. Now they look at there. It's Keanu Benton who's down. So that's about a fantastic of a start as you can have if you're the Steelers. 2 plays in. Derrick Henry already a decent run, showing that, he's going to gain some speed quickly here today. And Keanu Benton, your starting nose tackle, is hurt, and it's not like you're already banged up to hell and back on the D-line to begin with. No Derek Harmon, Isaiah Loudermilk, and Daniel Akwale, they've been out for a while. Trying to think who else. Tons of other guys out. Dean Lowry out for the season. So, yeah, Steelers injured to hell and back on the D-line, and now Keanu Benton back on the ground, laying flat. He injured as well. So, fantastic. Outstanding start for the Steelers. Let's real quick, now that we have a bit of a commercial break over here as they look at Benton, let's get back to the comments section here, ladies and gentlemen. Concepts, Lance, you gentlemen, THP in there as well. My dad, get your comments in. Bye-bye, Roman, I guess, from Concepts. Yeah, I don't know how he bounces back at this point. Honestly, feel bad for him, not just because, the things that have played out. Also, did he really get that much of a chance? I don't know. It feels like his time with the Steelers was pretty much, DOA, and it was gonna take a miracle for him to be a solid contributor to this offense. Injured for all but one game in his rookie year. Didn't really get that much of a chance to prove himself, except for, maybe a month. didn't really get that much starter reps in a weak wide receiver room, and now he's getting replaced by Adam Thielen and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who, if this weren't for the Steelers, they'd be probably sitting on the couch right now. So, yep, I don't know where Roman Wilson goes from here, honestly. I feel bad for the guy. I hope he bounces back, preferably here, but yeah, that just sucks. More comments here. Lamar supposedly a little dinged up here today, had his foot and ankle stepped on. Did have a foot and ankle injury, so we will definitely monitor Jackson's mobility here today, see if he's going to be scrambling for first downs as much as what we've seen from him in the past. So we'll see here. Game is coming back on now here to the right. Keanu Benton limping on his own power off to the medical tent. There's a handoff again for Derrick Henry, and again a 6 to 7 yard gain right there for Henry. No resistance at the line of scrimmage there. He just hit the hole and took off. Someone came up from the secondary there to tackle him. Not quite sure who that was. Are they showing now Y.A. Black in the middle of that D-line? Mm-hmm. Keep an eye on how he performs here today. This is the type of game he was drafted for. Another handoff here to Derrick Henry, and this time the Steelers are going to sniff out that run. $41 million man making a bit of a play right there. T.J. Watt with the TFL in the backfield on Henry. That's going to be a loss of maybe 2 yards on the play. Watt untouched off of that left outside linebacker spot he always rushes from. Was able to meet Henry there. Ravens lining up here with 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Zay Flowers in motion now. Looks like Rasheen Ali in the backfield now for Baltimore. Jackson going to take a deep shot downfield. He's got a man and making a diving catch. Zay Flowers. Jackson, with a little bit of time in the pocket, lines up a deep ball, and boy, you want to talk about a mismatch. Zay Flowers with the deep downfield catch, and hold up here. The Ravens rushing to the line, trying to get that snap off. You had Mike Tomlin throw the challenge flag out there. This is like seeing a unicorn here, seeing Mike Tomlin throw the challenge flag. Let's see what this is here. Did Flowers haul in that ball? Let's see here. Has it caught there, and knee down in bounds. Oh, the ball wiggled. The ball wiggled when his right elbow hit the ground. Did the ball touch the ground, though? And did the ball help him secure the catch? This is going to be interesting. This is one of those situations where call on the field is huge, and it was called on the field as a catch. We'll see if they overturn it. I think it's going to be tough. The ball definitely moved when his elbow hit the ground. That is not going to be possession. I don't think, though. We'll see. Who knows? It's going to be a coin toss, in my opinion. Regardless of how this goes here, that is going to be a massive indictment and a damn shame on the Steelers that play even happened on the first place. Because guess who was covering the Ravens' top wide receiver, Zay Flowers, on that route? It was freaking Chuck Clark, who's been terrible all year in pass coverage. I don't care how you get to that point. That cannot happen. Somehow Chuck Clark one-on-one with Zay Flowers there. Mismatch and a half. That was just terrible there from the Steelers. This doesn't get overturned. I'm not going to, be too harsh on the referees there because that shouldn't have happened in the first place. That is absolutely horrendous. Horrendous personnel deployment and alignment there from the Steelers. More on your comments here. Going to try to catch up to your comments here as quick as I possibly can here. Elliott, huge loss for the Steelers run defense, as is Kyle Duggar here today there, Lance. Yeah, Derek Harmon's a loss. Deshaun Elliott a loss. Kyle Duggar a loss. You're talking about two guys who I think at their respective positions take lots of pride in stopping the run. All three of those guys out here today. It's going to be a rough one here today, I feel. But Y.A. Black, he needs to, have a big day. Hasn't really shown much here so far through this first drive. Would like a big bounce back today here. Number 41 needs to have a very good game against Andrews today. Talking about Peyton Wilson in coverage there on Mark Andrews. I'm not going to hold my breath. Wilson, after preseason, saying he's one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. He's been pretty rough in pass coverage this season. See here, Dad in here, welcoming everybody. THP here, got a wide receiver y'all should trade for. THP coming in with a George Pickens joke. Come back here tomorrow. We'll be live here tomorrow to talk about everything that's gone on in the past few days. George Pickens will be mentioned, and finally his true antics coming out here with the Dallas Cowboys. Not going to read what he posted about one Richard Sherman on Instagram, but yeah, George Pickens. We were wondering when the dam was finally going to break and he was finally, going to quit in a game and be head case off the field. Well, looks like it's finally shown his ugly colors right there. The catch for Zay Flowers, it was upheld, so it's going to be 1st and 10. Well, now 2nd and 10 here for the Ravens at the 24. They started this drive, or this new set of downs, I should say, with a run for Derrick Henry. That was stopped for no yardage. Now they're going to run it here with the backup, Keaton Mitchell, and he's going to get a gain of 6 there, pushing his offensive lineman forward. So a 3rd and manageable here for Baltimore. Think kind of like what I said before the most recent commercial break. Call on the field was the deciding factor there for the Ravens. Rasheen Ali, the backup running back, now in there. Lamar looking to pass here on 3rd and 4. Lamar's going to take a shot for the end zone, and it is knocked away, incomplete. That is number 26, Brandon Echols, in tight pass coverage. No flag on the play. And the Steelers are going to force the Ravens to settle for 3 here. Outstanding coverage there by Echols. Stride for stride with Flowers. Gets his head back to the ball. Gets his hand up in there to bat that one down. And the Steelers defense, not a good opening drive, but with the Ravens settling for 3, the kick here from Tyler Loop is up and good. It wasn't a good drive for the Steelers defense, but hey, it wasn't, a terrible one either. We'll give them an average grade there, which, if they're that average all day, then you know what? We'll take it with what we've seen from this unit so far. So 3-0 Baltimore. Brandon Echols, outstanding play there. Though, let's keep this in perspective here. Let's hope that isn't a sign that we're going to have the same script as last week's game. Because we remember, first offensive drive for the Bills last week, Brandon Echols making a big drive-ending play as well, getting an interception. Or was it him or James Pierre? I don't know. I think it was Echols. This week, Echols does the same thing. After that, it was pretty smooth sailing for the Bills offense. Hopefully the Ravens don't follow that same script. Steelers offense with Aaron Rodgers. I think Rodgers, by the way, was taking snaps under center during pregame warmups. So that is a massive sign, good sign, I should say, as to the health of his wrist coming into today's game. Was taking snaps under center. He, with his buddy Marquez Valdez-Scantling and a 4-day-old on the team, 35-year-old veteran Adam Thielen, about to take the field for the Steelers. Catching up on your comments here. Yeager in the comment section. Welcome, Yeager. Can they stop Henry? Don't need another 200 yards of running against the D. Henry stopped him a couple of times there, but a couple other times he hits, keeps his balance a couple of times. He's going to break off some big ones here today. Hopefully that does not happen there, Jaeger. I'm hoping. Concepts here, getting it out of the way early like that. I'll probably reach that point by halftime here if we're all going to be honest here. Benton, don't think we saw any of Keanu Benton after that. Hopefully it's something that they're able to, tape up and get him back out there, but I'm a little worried about that. So now you're down to Ezezio Tememwo and Logan Lee at nose tackle? Yikes. Two guys who, to begin the year when everyone was healthy, were healthy scratches. Good night. See you guys reacting to the Zay Flowers catch. That was after review ruled a catch. And Concepts on cue. Was expecting this comment from you, Concepts. Wanted to see it. Thomas Dowdy in here as well. Incomplete pass. Ball moved and hit the ground. Yep. Already, not even... we actually are nearly 5 minutes old into this game. I thought it would be around 3 with those stoppages, but okay. So, game with a little over 4 minutes old now, and we already got some ref controversy. Kickoff here from the Ravens. It's going to be fielded back at the 5 and brought out in a good return running to the right there up to around the 35-yard line from Kenneth Gainwell. So, a good kickoff return there for Gainwell. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This new, maybe improved, who the hell knows, but probably not, Steelers offense comes onto the field here. Aaron Rodgers, heavy tape and cast on that right wrist still. All white cast covering most of that hand. Adam Thielen, number 16 for the Steelers, lined up to the left here alongside Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth. Rodgers, play clock winding down, takes the snap, faking the pitch here. He's going to throw. And a deep shot here. What the hell? A deep shot for DK Metcalf. Oh, my God. The streak is over. After over a month without a pass over 20 air yards completed, the Steelers on the first offensive play of the game hit a deep shot down the right sideline to DK Metcalf. He hauls it in stride, is losing his balance before he goes down there from the 35, that area of the field, all the way down inside the 10. Wow. How about that? We talked about that earlier this week. The Steelers, over a month, I think it was around 39 days last I checked, so probably beyond the 40-day mark, that they went without completing a pass that had 20 or more air yards. They do it on one play here today. They respot the ball here, so it's at the, I think, 13-yard line. Out route here for DK Metcalf. That's complete and out of bounds. Another pass from 8 to 4. 7-yard gain there. 2nd and 3 now here for the Steelers. $30 million DK Metcalf is making. Hasn't earned really half of that for his play this season. Maybe half now that I think about it, but showing some $30 million wide receiver type of plays right there. Steelers are going to go with a jumbo tight end set here on 2nd and 3 from the 6. It's going to be a pitch running to the right. It's Jaylen Warren waiting for a lane to open. He's going to be wrapped up from behind by, I think that is Travis Jones, the 3rd-year man, I think, maybe 4th-year man out of UConn. Warren's going to get a gain of 3. It's going to be 3rd and 1 here inside the 5. Looks like the jumbo tight end package is staying out there on the field again as the huddle breaks here. Both Washington and Anderson go out here to the left. Washington lined up as a wide receiver, now motions in. It's going to be a fade here for Metcalf. Oh, he can't hang on. Metcalf lined up wide to the right. Marlon Humphrey, one-on-one man coverage with Metcalf. Back shoulder fade from Rodgers to Metcalf. Number 4, he had his hands on it, but then Humphrey broke it up, and the Steelers, they're going to go for it on 4th and 1 here. Push formation. Connor Hayward going to carry it. He's going to be pushed in. That is going to be a first down conversion. Little bit of a move out to the left. And Hayward, with the push of, I think, Kenneth Gainwell primarily, they're going to get, I think, even 3 yards here. They needed 1. They might have gotten 3. This is going to be 1st and goal from the 2. Wow. Rodgers again here. Gainwell lined up to his left. Jonnu Smith in motion. Faking the jet sweep to Smith. Rolling out to the right. Rodgers. Fine time. Throwing back in the end zone. Too high for Metcalf. An all or nothing ball there for Metcalf. Incomplete. 2nd and goal now. Looks like Rodgers might have been looking for, I think, Darnell Washington on that delayed release. He running the same way Rodgers was. Got a bit of contact there with the Ravens defender. Here we go again. 2nd and goal now. Rodgers, handoff. Gainwell lowers his shoulder, and he is going to be a yard short. Roquan Smith going low on Kenneth Gainwell. Low man always wins. Gainwell trying to power his way into the end zone. Doesn't get there. It's going to be a 3rd and goal with a full yard to gain here for the Steelers, maybe even beyond that. Again, if Jaylen Warren, now he's in the ball game as Warren. If you're going to hand off the ball in that situation, why wasn't it Warren? Maybe they do it here. 12 personnel. Connor Hayward as the fullback. Rodgers a pass. Rodgers is going to run to the left. Can he get the edge? It's going to be a rushing touchdown for Aaron Rodgers. Woo! Touchdown Steelers! The 42-year-old with a rushing touchdown in 2025. Connor Hayward lined up as the fullback. Rodgers, I'm going to assume, was looking for someone to pass the ball to there to the left. No one really ran a route to get open. Rodgers does it himself. His first rushing touchdown in over 4 years. Gives the Steelers a lead. That lead now goes to 7 with the extra point from Chris Boswell. Good. And the Steelers offense responding to the field goal drive from the Ravens. Gets a touchdown on the board. And Rodgers and Mike Tomlin both at the same time on the sideline. Discount, double check from Aaron Rodgers on the touchdown celebration. The Steelers up 7-3. Told you, AFC North football, man. Wild start to this game. It's going to be more roller coaster emotions for the remainder of the afternoon. Crazy start. Aaron Rodgers with a rushing touchdown. How about it? That is crazy, crazy, crazy. But hey, if it's that kind of crazy, I love it. Back here to the comments section. You guys getting your comments in during that drive. Concepts in here. Metcalf said, F you haters. Love it. Now, that was a real catch. That was the type of catch that we haven't seen from Metcalf at all this year. Deep shot down the sideline. He's been the target on most of those types of throws throughout the season, and they've either been contested to where he hasn't been using his size to his advantage to turn a 50-50 ball into maybe a 70-30, or those types of passes have been intercepted. So, hell of a job there by Metcalf on that opening drive. Metcalf caught that. If Zay's counted, I don't want to hear anything on Zay's being incomplete or on Metcalf's being incomplete. If Zay's was completed as well, that was definitely 100% a catch. Concepts in here doing the work of Flacco, who comes in here now. F, you cheating Ravens. Yeager with the celebration. Rodgers, a rushing touchdown, his first since late November of 2021. So we are 4 years removed from the last time Aaron Rodgers had a rushing touchdown. Does that one that time, I believe, was racing towards the pylon. I believe he outraced, I think, a rookie in Mike Green, rookie defensive end from Marshall. So Rodgers turning on the Jets to beat a young guy there. How about it? Take that, NFL and referees from Thomas Dowdy, like that, where Adam Sandler drilled the ref into boys to call the fair game. Yeah, that was a hell of a response drive right there. My favorite movie and scene from Concepts there. Hell of a start to this game. High highs, lows lows. Kind of see the pattern and how that's going to go here throughout the day. 8 plays, 65 yards, 15 seconds away from 4 minutes extinguished on that drive there for the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, a 1-yard touchdown run that he had to probably run about 15 yards to get there. Hell of a job from A-Rod. And now with 7:13 left in the first quarter, the Steelers going to punt the ball, or going to kick the ball away here. It's going to be fielded back near the 5 by Rasheen Ali. He's going to run out to the 26, and he is met there by rookie Carson Bruner. Done a fantastic job on special teams today, and this year has Carson Bruner, one of Danny Smith's special teams aces. And now the Ravens going to start their second offensive drive of the afternoon. Lamar Jackson showing a cartoon graphic of how his season has gone. Under center here to begin this drive. It's going to be a fake handoff to Derrick Henry. Lamar stepping up in the pocket. He's going to run up here and get a gain of about 4 or 5 yards. Ball came out at the end. I think the Steelers were waiting for Jackson to get up. Jackson slid, and as he got up, someone punched the ball out there, trying to be slick. TJ Watt pressure in the backfield there. Swim move on Rosengarten, Roger Rosengarten, the second-year right tackle. And that was Cam Hayward coming in and knocking that ball out, trying to act as if the play was still live. Mark Andrews motions here. It's going to be a handoff running to the left there. Henry, and he is going to be met. Probably got about half a yard there, and a pack of Steelers was waiting for him. Highsmith, Hayward. I think even Keanu Benton, who's back out there, met Henry, stopping him there. TJ Watt, like a panther from behind, jumping on the back of Henry for good measure. 3rd and 5 now for the Ravens. Got Jackson under center here on 3rd and 5. Steelers lining up like they might blitz here. Let's see if they drop out of coverage. They rush 4. Jackson to pass. Pocket collapsing around him. And he is going down! Guess who is going to make a big play again for the Steelers? This time, instead of it being in pass coverage, it was being an unsuspecting blitzer, number 26, Brandon Echols. Blitzing from the corner spot, gets past the massive right guard, Daniel Falele, and Jackson couldn't twist out and scramble out of danger. He goes down for the sack, a loss of 8 on the play, and here comes Justin Stout for the punt. Fantastic drive there for the Steelers. Stout gets this punt away. It's going to hit here at the 39-yard line, picked up on a ground ball by Calvin Austin. He's going to get a gain of about 4 yards there before he heads out of bounds. And the Steelers defense looking like a $160+ million defense right there. They're able to hold Jackson to a minimal rushing gain. They stop Derrick Henry on the run, and then they get to Jackson in the backfield. They lined up like they were going to rush 6 on that final play. They dropped both middle linebackers, Queen and Wilson, into coverage. They brought Echols from the nickel spot on the blitz. And he gets the takedown, forcing that punt. Outstanding stuff there from the Steelers defense. Not going to give them their flowers yet. All I have to say, keep it up, because that's what we expect more often than not. Let's go here back to the comments section here. More comments from you guys in the comments section. Concepts here. Hot take. Muth deserves more targets than Darnell. I love Darnell too, but man, he loafs on some routes, especially in red zone and on the Mason pick where he didn't try to jump at all. Gonna work my way backwards here through your comments there, Concepts. First of all, that Mason pick, that ball should not have been thrown. That was into triple coverage, and Darnell Washington could have been Wembenyama, and I don't think he's reaching that football. Mason threw it so high. So I'm going to give Darnell a reprieve on that one, because that ball shouldn't have been thrown, and it was an awful throw on top of it from Rudolph. Red zone there and loafing on some routes. I mean, dude is, 6'7", 300 pounds. So, I mean, he's not going to be the most crisp route runner in the world. Could he be better? Absolutely. But back to, Muth. Could Muth use some more targets as your highest paid tight end? Absolutely. But also, Muth, for some reason, is in a doghouse. And also Washington, from the little bit we have seen from him when he does get the ball in the middle of the field in space, it's hard to, see what you've seen from that guy, him bullying these linebackers and DBs like they're children and take him off the field. You can't, see him do that and then put him on the sideline. So, I'm with you there. It's a 50-50 take. You would like both things to be simpatico here. I honestly would agree, Muth deserves all the targets over Jonnu Smith because he has been a disaster. But, just so many layers to that conversation there, Concepts. Got a couple more comments here. Thomas, that looked like an awkward fall for Henry. Maybe. I mean, Watt, it's not a hip drop tackle, but Watt spider monkeyed onto his back, and he's done that, one time on each drive so far. So that did look awkward from Henry. More reactions there. It's time, says Flocka right there. Let's go offense. Hopefully they're able to have some similar success right here. Rodgers is going to take the snap on 1st and 10, look to pass. Now it's going to be a delayed screen here for Jalen Warren, and Warren is going to get about 3 yards here. Caught that ball about 5 or so yards behind the line of scrimmage. Jonnu Smith doing his best to block a corner on that one. It's going to be a small gain here on 1st and 10. Set up 2nd and about 7. They're showing some highlights here of Aaron Rodgers' deep balls as of late to DK Metcalf. As much as we want to give credit to Metcalf, we also got to give some credit to Aaron Rodgers. He put that ball on the money, something we haven't seen from him here in a little while. The gain for Warren on the previous play is officially 4. Warren, the lone man in the backfield here. Rodgers under center. It's a handoff to Warren. Spin moving. I think he made a spin move on his own tight end there, or it might have been the right tackle, Fautanu. Solid gain there. Great move there. And then acceleration after the fact by Warren. Nearly picked up the 1st down. Instead, it's going to be 3rd and 1 here. Adam Thielen now on the sideline here for the Steelers. Thielen has been playing maybe every other snap. Come in for 2, go out for 2, something like that. Similar patterns. 3rd and 1 here. Calvin Austin in motion. 3 receiver set here to the left. Rodgers making a check. Warren flips from his right to his left. Ravens rush 4. Rodgers the pass. Pressure around him. Avoids a sack. Rodgers scrambling out to the right. Looking downfield. Throws. That's caught with the inbounds. He was. What a catch there by Calvin Austin. What a scramble to avoid the sack and get the throw off by Aaron Rodgers. It was Mike Green off the right edge that Rodgers ducked out of the sack. And then Austin toe tapping on the sideline. Yep, both are in. And that is a crucial 3rd down conversion for the Steelers. Hell of a job on all ends. And before we have another play here, I think the Steelers were trying to get another playoff. Baltimore is challenging this catch. And Rodgers, he is furious as he walks towards the Steelers sideline. Rodgers, he is, I mean, I'm not doing a lip reading type of deal here, but Rodgers, he is losing his mind right now and upset as he reaches Mike Tomlin. They're showing here. And oh no, this is going to come back. Oh no. Baltimore challenging. Both feet were in for one Calvin Austin, but the ball hitting him right in the chest, and he was unable to get both hands on it. That ball definitely was moving, and yep, call immediately overturned. So all of the praise still stands for Aaron Rodgers to even make that, play happen, ducking the sack, rolling out to the right, getting the throw off. That's impressive from Rodgers enough there, but Calvin Austin, when your quarterback makes a play, you got to finish it. Wasn't able to do it there, and I think that's why one Adam Thielen is here. Unable to secure that catch that hits him right in the chest. Maybe that's what Rodgers was upset about. Punt here from Corliss Waitman. It's a boomer. It's going to go all the way back to the 12-yard line where I think, was it Jonte Wester? I forget what his first name is. Rookie out of Colorado. Fair catches it at the 12. Unbelievable. From probably the greatest play you'll see of the season from Aaron Rodgers to it not meaning a damn thing. Calvin Austin there, unable to haul that in, and now the Ravens, maybe a bit of a break there, are going to go back here and go to work on offense. This is going to be snapped from the 11. It's a handoff, and it's going to be bounced to the outside here by Keaton Mitchell. He is going to get probably 4 yards there before he is angled out of bounds by James Pierre. So 2nd and 6 coming up here. Meanwhile, we got a game break here. The Cincinnati Bengals, how about it? In the snow in Buffalo, have taken a 14-3 lead over the Buffalo Bills. Joe Burrow, a passing touchdown to T. Higgins. 2nd and 6 here for Baltimore. Lamar, another handoff here for Keaton Mitchell, and he is going to power forward only for the gain of a couple here. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 4. No Derrick Henry. Mitchell is staying out there, so maybe Henry did get a little banged up on that previous drive. Lamar to pass here on 3rd and 4. Pocket collapsing around him, trying to buy some time. He's going to tuck and run now, and he is going to get the first down. Lamar buying time as the Steelers started to swarm the backfield. He escapes it and picks up the first down and probably gets another 6 yards or so on top of it. Tackle made on the play by Malik Harrison. Cam Hayward couldn't get there. Nick Herbig from behind tried to punch the ball out, couldn't do it. And Jackson now does it again, passing the ball here. Throws, incomplete, looking for DeAndre Hopkins. And a flag. Are you kidding me? Come on. Looking for D-Hop on a quick slant there was Jackson, and Joey Porter Jr. gets nabbed for pass interference. Porter and the rest of the DBs, arms to the sky. Mike Tomlin the same. Oh my goodness, that was pretty soft there. It looked bad, but did it really affect Hopkins as bad as it looked? I'm not going to say so there. So move the chains here for Baltimore. They're now up to the 29-yard line. Jackson rolling out, designed rollout here to the right, throwing downfield. It's caught. Toe tapping inbounds was Zay Flowers all the way up at the 46-yard line. 2nd and 10. Now Or no, they call him out of bounds here? Oh, no, he's out. My bad. Optical illusion from the one angle. It looked like he was in bounds. I was about to say 2nd and 10. Nope. It was a catch, but his left foot was not down and it landed out of bounds. So that is on me there. Bit of an optical illusion pulled me out of bounds. 2nd and 10. Lamar, handoff here to Keaton Mitchell. My TV screen glitches. CBS, figure it out. It's going to be a gain of about 6 yards here for Keaton Mitchell. Make it a gain of 5. I overestimated there. And now it's going to be 3rd and 5 for Baltimore. Third and 5 coming up. Rasheen Ali back into the ball game here for Baltimore. Steelers look like they might be rushing 4 here. They rush 5. Lamar back to pass with time. Throwing off the hands of Zay Flowers on the crossing route and incomplete. Brandon Echols in coverage. That throw high for Flowers, could have had it. But Echols there tracking Flowers. That pass was behind the first down marker, and I think even if Flowers catches that, Echols makes the tackle before he gets the first anyway, and the Ravens gonna punt again. Stout gets rid of it. Backtracking all the way to the 12. Running it up the sideline here is Austin. He is going to go out of bounds at around the 20-yard line. So the Steelers offense is going to come back onto the field here with 25 seconds left here in the first quarter. Let's go back here to the comment section. You guys getting your many comments in here. Going to try to keep up with these as the day goes along here. Clear catch by Austin was not. And yeah, that was not a good look there for Calvin Austin. Let's look here. Catch is a catch unless it's a catch, then it's not a catch, which makes it a catch if he doesn't catch it from concepts. That's about what it exactly says in the NFL rulebook on what a catch is here. Thielen looks like he's motivated to be there. Does look good and fluid in his routes that he's running out there, does Thielen. He's out there here in motion on the first play of this series for the Steelers. It's going to be a handoff here, and that is Caleb Johnson? For the first time in, I don't know, 3 games, Caleb Johnson just got a handoff, and he got 5 yards. How about it? 2nd and 5 now. There we go. Still run good routes, I believe, from THP talking about Thielen. Absolutely there. And concepts there. Again, another bogus JPJPI call. Flacco didn't stop his route. Yep, I didn't like it either. But that's what they called. It looked bad. And from, wherever the point of view is of the referee, it looks terrible from behind. But there really wasn't much there at all. So, hey, no harm, no foul. Now the Steelers were able to get a punt forced. And after that Caleb Johnson run, that is going to bring an end to the first quarter of play. Steelers up 7-3. Going to take a short break here, catch a drink, catch my breath, and we'll be back here. Start of the second quarter coming up here in a moment. ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be 2nd and 5 here for the Steelers. Rodgers taking the snap, looking, fires over the middle, and it is just out of reach of DK Metcalf. Looking here at the replay, that was, it wasn't tipped. Damn. Metcalf, big dudes, 6'4", just couldn't reach that one, outstretching for it. It's going to be 3rd and 5 here for the Steelers. Rodgers taking the snap, 3rd and 5, back to pass, dumps it underneath here. Kenneth Gainwell, he's going to lower his shoulder and get the first down on the catch and run. Had to get about 3 yards with at least 2 Ravens in front of him, and Gainwell able to get there, leaking on a small wheel route out of the backfield. Gainwell with the massive pickup, and the Steelers keep the drive moving. Concepts in the comment section. Kenny G MVP. He keeps making plays like that. He might. Rodgers to pass again here on 1st and 10. Firing, and I think he was looking for Darnell Washington, just threw it low there. And Rodgers, is his finger bleeding here on his throwing hand? I have no idea. A little sort of licking his pointer finger on his throwing hand. Okay, hopefully he's good to go. 2nd and 10 now for the Steelers. Second quarter of play just underway. Got a 3-receiver set here to the right of the Steelers formation. Darnell Washington over there lined up. And now, hang on here, we got a flag, and this is going to be false start on the offense. Empty backfield for Rodgers, and the Steelers false start, and that is left tackle Andres Pete, his 2nd week starting over the injured Broderick Jones. Yep, that was clear as day, false start, and that'll set the Steelers back 5 yards here on 2nd and 15 now. Andres Pete, I think, did fairly all right in substitution duty for Broderick Jones, whose season is probably over last week. Back in there again today. Ravens looking like they might bring the house here. They got about 7 guys up near the line of scrimmage. They rush 5. Rodgers gets rid of it underneath Darnell Washington, and he is going to pick up most of what they needed. And is Washington hurt here? Oh, no, he is. Oh, no. Washington up to his knees now, slow to get up. Was in there to pass block, initially leaked out, and he took a big hit. Sort of got submarined. I believe that is Kyle Hamilton. No, that's Alohi Gilman who went low. Kyle Hamilton went high, and Washington sort of landed on his shoulder, and his head first was a tiny bit woozy there on the ground, and he right now is going to be helped off the field, has his arm around the shoulder of a teammate as he walks off the field, and he is going to go into concussion protocol, and that might be a crippling blow to the Steelers offense. We know how much they love to use Darnell Washington, running game, passing game. Now he is going to be out here for a little bit. He is making his way, still wobbly, to the blue medical tent. And on 3rd and 3 here, the Steelers, they are going to go 11 personnel. Got Kenneth Gainwell in the backfield. Pat Freiermuth, the lone tight end out there. 2 receivers to each side of the formation. Now Gainwell motions out here to the left, lines up as a receiver. Empty backfield. Rodgers takes the snap. Ravens rush 4. Rodgers, deep shot down the sideline again and again. Dropped in a bucket for DK Metcalf. That's a Pittsburgh Steelers first down. 1-on-1 with Nate Wiggins. Very weak safety help over the top, and that ball was moving. Did he hang on? Let's see. Steelers, they get the playoff, so it doesn't matter now. Back shoulder for Metcalf, incomplete. 2nd and 10. Now coming up. That time the Steelers rushed up, and they did get the playoff. Ravens, no time to challenge it. That ball sort of just hanging around right here on Metcalf's arm, and I think he just got possession of it with both feet dragging as he was heading out of bounds. Another downfield connection between Rodgers and Metcalf. 2nd and 10. Rodgers to throw again over here towards the sideline. Kenneth Gainwell able to stay in bounds as Alohi Gilman was tiptoeing. Flag down, though, here. We got a flag down after the fact that came in about 5 or so yards up the field from where Gainwell ended his run. This is going to be on the defense. They're pointing that way, so let's see what the call is. This is going to be personal foul, a face mask on the defense. That is going to be on Alohi Gilman, the safety. He gets the face mask on Kenneth Gainwell, and yep, that is going to be a face mask. Wasn't the most egregious face mask that you've seen, but got just enough of it where it twisted Gainwell's helmet a little bit, and that's going to be called all day long. 1st and 10 now for the Steelers after the penalty. I think they are back into the red zone here. Indeed, they are at the 12. They got Gainwell now, 2 back set. Gainwell lined up left as a receiver, now in motion. Rodgers, it's going to be a jet sweep here, and this is going to be in trouble, and oh boy. Somehow, some way, Kenneth Gainwell was able to get back to the line of scrimmage. That play was trouble from the start, and he was able, with Warren blocking for him, able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 2nd and 10. Game update here from CBS. Daniel Jones just left the game with a non-contact leg injury. He went down and is now out of that game. Hopefully that's not an Achilles or something from what it looked like. Rodgers here, pump faking, now goes back to Gainwell, and Kenny G, again, somehow making a man miss. He's able to get 3 or 4 yards on a play that originally looked like it was going to be no more than a 1-yard gain. Rodgers pump faking the screen play there, ends up coming back to the screen, and now it's going to be 3rd and 5. Clock continues to roll, 11 and a half now left to go here in the 2nd quarter. Ravens defense gets set up here. Looks like the Ravens have 1 down defensive lineman out there, and that's Travis Jones. Calvin Austin in motion. Aaron Rodgers here is going to take a timeout after he sees that alignment here, and clock stops here with 11:19. The Steelers now, they only are going to have 1 timeout remaining here for the last 11 minutes and change of the first half. So let's see what they do here now. They're showing strengths of schedules here for the rest of the season. The Ravens, they play the 3rd toughest schedule in the AFC for the remainder of the season. The Steelers and Bengals, though, 2nd easiest and easiest strength of schedule left in the season. So Steelers going up against the Ravens twice, the Bills, and the trying to think here, the Lions, with the Dolphins and Browns mixed in there. I don't know how that's the 2nd easiest in the AFC, but okay. I'll believe it's easy when I see them get an easy breezy win. 3rd and 5 here. Rodgers in a empty backfield here, taking the snap. It's going to be a quick screen set up here to Kenneth Gainwell. He slips, and he's going to only get a gain of 2. Needed 5, couldn't get there. Lost his footing in the backfield, comes up limping. Tried to make a cut there, and his right ankle rolled on him. Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers react as if they knew that play was going to be a success. Instead, it ends in a failure. Chris Boswell on to kick a 23-yarder here from the right hash. He puts this one through, now moves to 14 for 16 in his career at M&T Bank Stadium. And the Steelers make it a touchdown and extra point lead. Though it could have been more if Kenneth Gainwell does not slip there and hurt himself. That is a double whammy there if you're the Steelers. That just sucks. Here to the comment section again to see what you guys have been saying here. Reacting to that latest drive. Oh no, sorry, Darnell. I mean, hopefully he's able to be all right. I think that's concussion more than anything. Landed his left shoulder and head hitting the turf at the same time. So hopefully he'll be able to bounce back. Thomas Dowdy in here going a more violent route. Not saying you're looking to hurt people, but you are looking to send a message and be physical there, Thomas. Maybe they're a little upset we knocked out Derrick Henry. Have not seen any update on him. We did not see him at all that last drive for Derrick Henry. Wonder if he is going to... Wonder if there's an update on him. I'm trying to look here on Twitter if there's any update on Derrick Henry. That last drive for the Steelers, 9 passes to 1 run. That is very unlike the Steelers football from the past. Wow. That Aaron Rodgers 52-yard completion to DK Metcalf to open up the game. Seeing this here from Brooke Pryor. That is the longest completion by a Steelers quarterback in terms of air yards, which was 44 on that play, since Week 16 of the 2023 season, when Mason Rudolph hit George Pickens on a 44-yard go route against the Bengals. Wow. Didn't even realize that streak was even that long there. Crazy. Still looking here to see if there's any update on Derrick Henry. Not seeing it. We'll get an idea of if he's hurt or not by how the Ravens send out their deployment here to start this next drive. Some more reactions here in the comments section from you guys. Aaron, good at recognizing these things. Here says Flacco. Kenny G limping. Yeah, sort of tried to make a cut and then his right ankle gave out to him, sort of rolled it a little bit. That is not good there. Hopefully it's, just something he's able to maybe get taped up, put a spat on it, and get back out there. Going to get more of your comments here in a second. Kickoff here again from Chris Boswell. It's going to be fielded here at the 7-yard line and ran out of bounds to the left by Keaton Mitchell. So Ravens will go back on the field at offense again. Need better pre-snap management. It's been too close to delay of games and has been causing us to rush the play. Agreed with that there, Thomas. I even think that last one where Gainwell came up limping, they were a little late to get the ball off and get guys set up all the way. Can't be having that happen. So Ravens are going to start this drive here from the 26. Derrick Henry is back in the ballgame here for Baltimore. We got a delayed screen here to the other side, and this is going to be a tackle for loss, 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage, but a flag is down here. Did they get Alex Highsmith on a face mask? Let's see here. No, it's on the Ravens. Ineligible man downfield. Ronnie Stanley, the left tackle, getting downfield too quickly there on that screen. The Ravens faked the toss out to the right. Jackson came back with a pass, a screen pass at the line of scrimmage to the left. Highsmith read it all the way, made the tackle for loss. The Steelers are going to decline this penalty and just take the 1 yard loss and the loss of down. So how about that? 2nd and 11 here for Baltimore. Zay Flowers running laterally across the line of scrimmage here. He finally is able to cut up field and get about half, maybe a little bit more than what he needed for the first down there. And it's going to be a gain of 7. So make it 3rd and 4 here for the Ravens. They just showed highlights of Alex Highsmith and Derrick Henry, those two gentlemen, the Walter Payton Men of the Year for their respective teams. Congratulations to Highsmith and Henry. It's going to be 3rd and 4 here. Jackson with, I believe that's Ali to his right. Back to pass. Jackson, pocket collapsing again. He's going to try to scramble out here, running to the right. Now flicks it downfield. Intercepted! Picked off by James Pierre! Big play, Pierre. Pierre Island making another outstanding play for this defense. Jackson had no room to run as the Steelers closed off the angle. Tried to flick it over 3 Steelers defenders for Ali. And it is Pierre with the interception. Pierre Island strikes again. Whoa! 42. He is earning himself a payday this offseason. Who would have thought James Pierre would be making plays like this? You go back to early, preseason predictions. He probably the biggest surprise and a damn good one for the Steelers defense. Unbelievable play there from James Pierre. And the offense going right back to work in prime field position, starting at the Ravens 36. DK Metcalf motions. It's going to be a handoff here to Jaylen Warren. And Warren, he is going to have no hole to hit. He's just going to try to run a guy over and get as much yardage as he can. That's going to be a 1. Okay, 1 yard gain there for Jaylen Warren. I paused my sentence there. Tracy Wolfson, sideline reporter for CBS. Indeed, it is a concussion for Darnell Washington. That is what he's being evaluated for back in the locker room now. So it's Jonnu Smith, Pat Freiermuth, and Connor Hayward from here on out, most likely. Rodgers back to pass here, 2nd and 9. Losing time, running out here to the right. Fires a bullet, and it is caught by Joe Dirt Ben Skoranek. A sliding catch there for the first down. Again, Rodgers buying time out to the right and getting a man to come open. And that time it is Skoranek with an excellent catch. Excellent stuff there from one of Danny Smith's special teams aces. One, in my opinion, one of the best gunners in all of NFL. Adam Thielen back out there on the field now for Pittsburgh. Lined up to the right. Rodgers just going to get one out quickly here to DK Metcalf. Nate Wiggins, the small 5'10 corner. He was not in press coverage there on Metcalf, and Rodgers just said, hey, we'll get a free 6-yard gain here on first down. Wiggins playing about 8 yards, maybe even more off the line of scrimmage from Metcalf there, and no one around Metcalf. Just get him the ball in space and let him get some free yardage. We'll take that. Good play there from Metcalf. Just showed on the replay there. I'm looking in the back. Marquez Valdes-Scantling standing there on the sideline for the Steelers. We've seen a ton of Adam Thielen here today. I've not seen any of MVS yet out of the 2 new receivers. Confusion here pre-snap for the Steelers. They finally get the guys lined up right, and a timeout is going to be taken here. This is going to be on Baltimore. Rodgers, I guess, making the adjustments. I think I just heard Tony Romo say there that the Ravens were going to run cover 0. Rodgers, he is pointing. They're going to a picture-in-picture commercial break here. Rodgers is pointing at the Ravens sideline, saying something, probably pointing at John Harbaugh. Rodgers knew what was coming. And he, I think, was trying to get Jonnu Smith to go out there and run, something else than what was called there. They were going to catch the Ravens napping there. So the Ravens calling a timeout, burning one of those before the Steelers could take advantage of them. Real quick, catching up on the comment section again, everyone in here flipping out. Pierre Island, say his name with respect. James Pierre, lock down Pierre Island. He has been unreal this season, and this historic run that he is on, it just continues here today. Love JP. Ben Skoranek, Wes Welker Jr. there from Thomas Dowdy. He was saying you knew. He was saying you knew. I think that's what he was saying. Yeah, good lip reading there, Thomas. Got 2nd and 4 here. Steelers at the Ravens 17. Rodgers faking the handoff to Warren, rolling out to the right. Caught there by Adam Thielen, and he is going to be a yard short, maybe 2 from the first down. First catch in the Steeler career of Adam Thielen, breaking an out route there on Marlon Humphrey, and tried to extend that ball forward for the first down. It's going to be 3rd and 2 now. This is the 12th NFL season for Adam Thielen. 64 career receiving touchdowns. That is 8th most among active players. This season, though, returning to the Minnesota Vikings after a brief stint with the Panthers, had just 8 catches. Well, there's 1 already in his Steelers career. Rodgers to pass here, 3rd and 2. Another fade here for Metcalf, incomplete. Metcalf trying to get a hand on that ball. 1-on-1 with Marlon Humphrey again. Maybe in terms of, what we saw Joey Porter Jr. get called pass interference for earlier. That could have gone either way. Rodgers was looking for a flag, I think, there, arm up. So again, Chris Boswell on here to kick another field goal from the right hash again. This one, I think, a 29-yarder, and the wind took that one a little bit here. But hang on. The field goal was good. We got a flag here. Boswell's pointing that way. Did they leverage the long snapper? Hold up here. Spencer Anderson, leaning in on the referee conversation, is pointing that way. The offense is going to come back out on the field. The Ravens just took a special teams penalty here. Unnecessary roughness on the Ravens. Did they rough the long snapper, Coots? That's the thing I would think for right here. It's going to be on Travis Jones, number 98. Yep, it is going to be roughing the snapper. Christian Kuntz gets pushed all the way back to the ground. Can't do that in the Steelers offense. Is coming back on for another chance to put it in the end zone here. 1st and goal now. Harbaugh is livid on the Ravens sideline, spit flying. Still saying, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Talking about that penalty call. And that okay, we good? Testing. Here we go. It's going to be a pitch here to Kenneth Gainwell. Running to the left. Scooting into the end zone. Kenny G. And the Steelers, they take advantage of the penalty. It was a makeup, I believe, of the missed PI. And the Steelers have put it in the end zone again. A pitch and running to the left. Excellent blocking on the play. And Kenny G had to make one guy miss, and he easy breezy scoots into the end zone. Extra point now for Chris Boswell. It is good. And man, that wind carried that one again. It was lined up dead center, and it carried to where it just tucked inside the right goalpost. Kick is good nonetheless. And the Steelers make it 17-3 over the Ravens. How about that there from the offense? Take that all day. Back to the comment section here. You guys were just up in arms about that awful no call. Well, that's the good makeup call there. That's what we needed. We need touchdowns, though, says Flacco. I was going to get to that if the Steelers ended up, settling for 3 there. I was going to say, you're now in the red zone again and you're settling for 3 again. These are the types of, not getting the touchdown. These are the type of things that come back to haunt you late in ball games. But the Ravens, with a special teams penalty, give the Steelers a breath of life there, and the Steelers take advantage, now making it 17-3. Flacco here again should be up 21-3. Yeah, you could say that there, Flacco. I guess John Harbaugh, cry baby, cry Ravens, rye. Yeah, he was very animated, but his complaining and bitching wasn't going to do him any sort of favor. Hate liars, never touched him, he says. Well, how the hell did he fall down? Was that what he was saying there? Thomas, you're doing a better lip reading job than I am. He never touched him. Yeah, just the wind blew over Christian Kuntz and not the 300-pound D lineman that just bull rushed him. Yeah, that's not him at all. Need the D to keep the Ravens from getting points here. That will be big. The Steelers did start the game on offense, so they will get the ball. They started the game on defense, I think. That's what I said. So they will get the ball here to start the second half. But 6:05, lots of football left to play here in this half. The Steelers can come out right here, have a shutdown drive. I think that would be pretty big, in my opinion. Look here, see if there's anything else. There it is from Burt Lawton, Steelers PR man. Darnell Washington, questionable to return as he gets evaluated for a concussion. The red hat here, seeing this from Nick Farabaugh, the independent neurologist, came out of the blue medical tent while Darnell Washington was in there. So, yeah, that is a concussion check. But now back to the game. Steelers now up 17-3. Now they come back from commercial looking at that penalty again for Travis Jones. And hang on here. Kickoff from Chris Boswell does not reach the landing zone. Oh, no. Well, just said a moment ago that the wind is now swirling there at M&T Bank Stadium. And Chris Boswell, a rare, unintentional free kick or kickoff that doesn't make the landing zone. And the ball is now going to come out to the 40. So this shutdown drive here for the Steelers defense just got a whole lot harder. The Ravens already starting near midfield. Great. Not sure if the wind died it down or if Boz just mishit it. We'll have to see. Patrick Ricard in the game here for the Ravens. Derrick Henry the handoff, and he is only going to get a gain of 2 here. Wrapped up again. Alex Highsmith, he is everywhere right now. So, hell of a good start to the afternoon from Schmitty. Been in the backfield, pressuring Jackson. Been excellent in the running game, too. Stopping Henry. Alex Highsmith is a guy to keep an eye on here for the remainder of this ball game. 2nd and 8 now for Baltimore. Zay Flowers motions. Again, Ricard, the fullback in the backfield. Another handoff for Henry, and this time he finds space, and he is going to get the first down, and oh, no. Oh, no. Henry tackled by Malik Harrison, and Harrison immediately hits the ground and doesn't move. And the Steelers immediately call for Harrison to come out there. Oh, oh my God. Oh, no. Thank God he is up. He's at least on his knees. Malik Harrison just delivered the tackle there on Derrick Henry, but the force of Derrick Henry was absorbed by the head and neck of Harrison. Harrison went down limp, and I am surprised as all hell that he is, on his knees moving right now. So that was ugly look there. And yeah, like Concepts says right here, scary hit, not good at all. Don't lead with the head. Yeah, he led with his head on that tackle there. And man, I don't mean to, to give this comparison just because he's wearing the number 50, but I thought for a second there that we just saw, Ryan Shazier-like injury, but thank God it does not appear to be that. That was a rough-looking hit in real time, a rough-looking hit on the replay, and hopefully he is able to walk off the field here. Maybe they're on commercial break right now, so we don't know that. We'll see here in a moment. Thomas Dowdy in here. Yes, we do get the ball here to start the half. Yeah, shades of Ryan coming back scary. Yeah, that was a scary day for a lot of people, for sure. So hopefully Harrison will be all right here and that there won't be anything too serious to come from that. Looking here if we have anything else. Indeed, nothing to do with this game. Mentioned Daniel Jones earlier leaving for the Colts that game with a lower body injury. Indeed, it is an Achilles injury, so he probably popped his Achilles, and now the Colts, with no first-round pick in the next 2 years, are going to have their quarterback that they hitched their wagon to done for this year and who knows, maybe most of next year, if not all of next year. Wow. Going back here to the football game. Somehow after that hit, Malik Harrison did walk into the blue medical tent on his own power, so thank God for that one. Ravens now on 1st and 10 from the Steelers side of the field. It's going to be a fake handoff design rollout to the right. Jackson floating one that's caught and out of bounds. Zay Flowers. It's going to be a 9-yard pickup right there. So Baltimore now maybe set up for a deep shot opportunity here. Looks like the Cincinnati Bengals are starting to rough up the Buffalo Bills. Handoff here for Derrick Henry. He is going to get the first down here. Needed a yard, probably got a yard and a half, maybe 2 yards there. 1st and 10 now for Baltimore. Clock continues to roll here in the second quarter. 4 minutes, 20 seconds and counting down. Cole Holcomb into the ball game now for the Steelers. He'll probably fill in for Harrison. We have not seen much of Cole Holcomb in about a month, honestly. It's been Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen with Malik Harrison mixed in there for the most part. So seeing Cole Holcomb out there, that's a promising sight. Lamar Jackson in trouble here. Somehow fires that ball sidearm complete to Isaiah Likely. And he is going to get a solid chunk of yardage here for, I think, 7 yards or so. The Ravens here didn't set up like they were going to throw a screen pass. 2 Steelers ended up coming free on Jackson. It was Otamemwo and Watt who came in on Jackson without much resistance. And Jackson fired it right between both of them, sidearm, for a 6-yard gain to Likely. Jackson under center. This is a jet sweep here to Zay Flowers, and Flowers stutter steps, turns on the burners, and is able to get 2 yards before he's wrapped up by Cole Holcomb and James Pierre. Alex Highsmith in there as well, though I think he was being blocked up. 3rd and 2 now. Under 3 minutes left to play here in the first half. Holcomb getting involved in the game early here. 3rd and 2. Ravens 2 for 6 on 3rd down conversions today. The Steelers have one more stop in them. Ravens, heavy personnel like they're going to run it. Hang on, flag, pre-snap flag. That's on the defense, or on the offense. Oh my God, neutral zone infraction on the defense. Damn it. Alex Highsmith. Give him compliments, and he does that. Neutral zone infraction on Highsmith, and the Ravens don't earn the first down. It is given to them. Now it's going to be a new set of downs. 1st and 10 from the 25. Jackson takes the snap, firing over the middle. Ball's batted in the air, and it falls in no man's land. Incomplete. Damn. Flag down here. This has got to be after the play, so who did what? Better not be on the defense. Come on. They're showing Jackson. They're showing Benton. Okay, that's better. Illegal formation on the offense. Penalty is declined. It's going to be 2nd down here after the incomplete pass. Ronnie Stanley gets nabbed for the illegal formation. Keanu Benton is the one who got his hand up there to tip that ball way up in the air and just landed where no Steeler was. You had Queen, Watt, Benton, Pierre all converging on that football, and it fell in between all of them. 2nd and 10 now. Jackson, handoff. Henry running to the right. Meets a wall of Steelers defenders. He pushes ahead for 2 yards on the second effort, but great job there by the Steelers front. And now it is going to be 3rd down, and they're going to give it 7. So, can the Steelers now, without having any sort of penalty, get off the field again, force the Ravens to settle for 3, and maybe the offense will have some time to do something. 2-minute warning in the first half in Baltimore. We'll be back here in a second. Welcome back Halftime coming up here, but before we get there, the 2-minute warning just hitting there in Baltimore. It's going to be 3rd and 7 for the Ravens. I think just outside the 20-yard line. Derrick Henry's on the sideline here. They changed it back to a 3rd and 8. I thought I had it right. From the 23 here. Henry out of the game here. Ravens, 11 personnel. Lamar Jackson back to pass here. Loses time and incomplete. Was trying to float one for Zay Flowers. Flag down though. Jalen Ramsey in coverage on Flowers, and is this on Ramsey? Oh my God. Illegal contact on Joey Porter Jr. with DeAndre Hopkins, and that is such a bad penalty to take. Steelers about to get off the field on 3rd down, and again a penalty bites them. And that one's, not even arguable. That is just a terrible, terrible penalty by Joey Porter Jr. Derrick Henry gets the handoff again. He's going to get a 5-yard gain right here. 2nd and 5. Clock after the penalty, now 1:40 and rolling down. Ravens 2 timeouts left in the half. The Steelers 1. Ravens this season in the red zone touchdown percentage, they are 30th in the NFL at 46.5. Zay Flowers motioning here. Jackson under center. Ravens look like they're running the 12 or 11 personnel look here. Jackson firing over the middle, caught there by Rashad Bateman, and they are going to graciously give him the first down. Lamar buying time there. Came back to Bateman settling down in the middle of the field, and it's going to be 1st and goal for the Ravens. Clock continuing to tick down here. It's now at 40 seconds. Jackson under center again. Ricard in the backfield motions. It's a pitch here. Running to the left is Henry. Henry meeting someone in the hole. That is Patrick Queen and Keanu Benton, who stop him after a gain of 1. Clock now stops here. 25 seconds. The Ravens call their 2nd timeout. Patrick Queen, bit smaller than Derrick Henry, but no fear there, was able to stop Henry's forward progression, and he, along with Benton, took him down for the minimal gain. Steelers backs against the wall here. Defensively, oh no. The injuries just keep on piling up here for the Steelers. Hobbling around on the sideline right now. Just came off the field. It's Alex Highsmith. He is limping very heavily on that right ankle, trying to walk it out, whatever it is. Nick Herbig coming into the game now at right outside linebacker. 27 seconds on the clock. Ravens a 3-receiver set, including Mark Andrews to the right here. Derrick Henry lined up to the left of Jackson. Jackson looking to pass. Firing towards the back of the end zone. Incomplete. No flag on the play either. Mark Andrews did his best acting work there with Chuck Clark in coverage. Let's see here. Yeah, Clark and Andrews in man coverage there. And maybe there was a tiny bit of a hold there from Clark, but the flop job at the end by Andrews when he wasn't even touching him anymore was just absolutely pathetic. So I agree with that no call if you're going to embellish like that. 12 personnel for the Ravens, 2 tight ends to the left. Jackson here, back to pass again. He's going to run, and he is going to scoot into the end zone for the touchdown. Was looking to pass all the way. And then when he got out of the pocket, whoever the defensive back there at the time, I couldn't see who that was, had to choose between covering the receiver or covering Jackson. Chose to cover the receiver. Jackson scores. There was holding on the defense as well on the play, so wasn't really all that much of a factor anyways. That was Eccles who got caught in between there, had no choice but to, go to the receiver. Do you want Jackson to score a touchdown or have the receiver score a touchdown? He at least chose the guy to the outside so that someone on defense might come to tackle Jackson. PAT here. It's up and it is wide to the left. No good. So I'll be damned. The wind is still howling there at M&T Bank Stadium. Chris Boswell nearly missed a PAT. That time Loop does it. The wind carries it wide left. Almost skims that flag at the top of the post. So it's going to be 17-9. Huh. Back to the comments section here. Aren't chip blocks illegal? Henry diving at the knees. Did see that. I did not mention it at the time because I was focused on, the missed first down that I don't think was a first down like you guys thought. Yeah. Fake TD from Concepts. Just call it damn fair game for once. Honestly, JPJ penalty scammed us. Yeah, the JPJ penalty was just a fail-safe in case they, didn't score a touchdown there. The miss kicked is karma, says Concepts. Maybe it is. So I can't blame Boz for a bad kick. You got to, keep track of what the wind does. But, I'm not going to, the wind is crazy right now. Jalen Warren is returning this kick, and he is going to get out to the 25 or 26-yard line. Clock stops with 11 seconds left. So the Steelers, maybe if they have one pass here that can get them around midfield, or, they'll either send out Boswell for a long, long field goal in this wind. I don't know. Nope, they're not going to run a play. They're just going to kneel this out and go to halftime. So take away everything I just said. So the Ravens, they do indeed get a touchdown on the board, I should say, before half. So it's 17-9. They missed the extra point, and let's be honest here. I was not sure whether I would save this to mention here at the beginning of the third quarter or mention it now. I'll mention it now. This lead right now for the Steelers looks eerily too similar to the one they had just last week against the Bills. And they start the ball on offense once again after halftime. Hopefully Mike Green or whoever doesn't clobber Aaron Rodgers from behind, and Marlon Humphrey doesn't pick up the loose ball for a scoop and score. We pray during halftime. Back here in a little bit. Going to take a short break for halftime. 12 of you in here right now. If you have not done so already, please hit subscribe. Turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Again, like this live stream. Share this live stream. Leave a comment in the comments section. Your thoughts on the first half. Your predictions for the second half. We will discuss it all and more before kickoff of the third quarter here in a little bit. Be right back. Stay where you are. Back here after half. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Second half between the Ravens and the Steelers about to get underway. I believe the Ravens during that halftime there were doing a Super Bowl reunion recognition type party thing. So I don't know. Anyways, back from half here. Steelers up 17-9. But like I said before we left, this feels eerily similar to something that we just saw last week. The Steelers offense, better than they were last week, had a hot start to the game, scoring 2 touchdowns. The defense holding up their end of the bargain. And then in the last 5 or so minutes of the first half, the defense, both by the Ravens doing and their own doing, allow Baltimore to put up a touchdown before halftime ends, though they did miss the extra point. So that is where we sit 17-9 right now. Top players of the game so far for the Steelers offensively, Aaron Rodgers. He has been precise with his passing. DK Metcalf has gotten off to a hot start today. They completed on that long ball to begin the game. Defensively, Brandon Echols, James Pierre, those two gentlemen have been doing fine. Alex Highsmith has been doing all right as well, though he did get hurt, and injuries, those have been the story of this game so far as well for the Steelers. Darnell Washington, concussion protocol. Malik Harrison, concussion protocol. Keanu Benton, he got banged up. You had Alex Highsmith banged up with an ankle injury. Many more probably beyond that. So the Steelers right now, their defense starting to get a little bit banged up, and hopefully they're able to lick those wounds and play a solid second half here. Remember that we were in the same position last week, like I said, up around this type of score, coming back from halftime, getting the ball on offense. Hopefully this time around, Aaron Rodgers does, not get strip sacked and get hurt, and the Ravens don't score on a scoop and score off the first play. I'm saying that hopefully to jinx that won't happen here. So we will see. Second half about to kick off here in a moment. To the comment section we go. You guys got some comments in during the halftime there. I'll get to those in a second, but before I get to the rest of them, got to get to this one first. Freight Train, thank you very much, Freight Train, a $5 contribution. Sending love now before the second half begins. I appreciate that, Freight Train. I appreciate you sending in now, because if this game goes like how the Bills game went last week, then this live stream might not be on for no more than an hour. We'll see, though. Here we go. Kickoff here is going to go. Is that out of bounds? Oh, my God. They did it the other way, too. What helped start that Ravens touchdown drive before halftime was a Chris Boswell kick off out of bounds. That brought it out to the 40. This one not as egregious as Bos's, but Tyler Loop gets the ball to the landing zone, but it trickles out of bounds about 3 yards shy of the pylon. So the Steelers now, they are going to go to work with that kickoff out of bounds. Here we go at the 40-yard line already. We'll take that as like what a good return is. Hell yeah. Jonnu Smith in motion here. He's getting a lot of playing time today with no Washington. Rodgers here going through all his progressions. Nothing is opening up. Now Rodgers comes free, uncorks it downfield. Got DK Metcalf. And Metcalf staying in bounds, fighting for every piece of yardage he can get, and down at the 25-yard line. Number 4 from number 8. Again, a big play to start the half. ×2. And that time, that was all blocking, ladies and gentlemen, by the offensive line. Rodgers helping out a little bit, scrambling out to the left there near the end. But the offensive line holding that 4-man rush from Baltimore at bay for a solid 5 seconds allows Rodgers and allows the receiver to get open downfield for the catch. That is Metcalf's 5th catch on the day. He is up to a $133 now in receiving yardage. Here's a quick pass out here to Pat Freiermuth on 1st and 10 from the 19. And Muth wrapped up down low by number 41 here. This is my first time today going to the Ravens depth chart here to see who that is. That is Number 41. I don't see a 41 on here. I don't see a 41 on here. Do I have the right depth chart? Oh, here it is. 41. That is... Still don't see him. What the hell? Someone on the Ravens. Last name Jones. Number 41. I think that's Draymond Jones, who they brought in from the Tennessee Titans. 3-yard gain there for Muth on the catch and run. Now Kenneth Gainwell here. He is going to somehow, some way, did he get the first down there? If he did, that's insane. He did, I think. Or no, they're going to mark him just short. Still, though, hell of a run there from Kenneth Gainwell. That run was designed to go to the right, and Gainwell broke it all the way back to the left, somehow got the edge on the speedy Nate Wiggins, and before he landed out of bounds, extended to as best as he could to get the first down. Came up a yard short, but that is another hell of a run in making chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what from Kenneth Gainwell. Rodgers takes the snap, handoff, Gainwell powering forward, and he is going to have the first down. Down at the 8. Ball was at the 10. First down marker was at the 9. We'll take that all day from Kenny G. It's now going to be first and goal here for the Steelers. Interesting to see what's coming here. Aaron Rodgers, for a second, as he got the play call in, just shook his head and then gave it a bit of a nod. So let's see what Arthur Smith and the Steelers offense has dialed up here on first and goal from the 8. Jalen Warren in the backfield. Jumbo tight end set. Spencer Anderson, the backup tight end, or the swing tight end in motion, and turns out Aaron Rodgers shaking his head. That was a warranted shaking of the head because that pitch play running to the right was sniffed out by the Ravens immediately. Loss on the play. I think it's all the way back at the 10-yard line now, so second and goal now. And the Steelers got the full 10 to get into the end zone. 11-22 and counting down here in the third quarter. Looks like, I think that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling out there wide to the left. Rodgers takes the snap. Firing over the middle. Incomplete. Looking for Freiermuth. Is there a flag there? I was looking for a flag there. That seemed like a little bit of early contact from Malachi Starks, the rookie safety. Let's look here. Passes out there from Rodgers, and man, that was close to being DPI there on the former Georgia Bulldog. Georgia winning the SEC championship yesterday to boot, just destroying Alabama. It's now going to be third and goal. MVS and Metcalf out there wide again. Rodgers was looking MVS's way. Now Rodgers avoids a sack, fires, incomplete. He had Kenneth Gainwell, but the pass was a little behind him. Damn. Rodgers scrambling, Kenny G trying to find open space. I think Kenny kept running, and Rodgers wanted him to settle down. Now that I look at it, I think that ball might have skinned the arm of an oncoming rusher. So that is probably why that ball was offline. Field goal attempt here for Chris Boswell. This is going to be a 28-yarder from dead center, and like the ball positioning on the field, the kick dead center, and the Steelers are back up. I was going to say before my own graphic interrupted me, 20-9. Now, Steelers again up 2 scores. And that is, if the Ravens, offensively start clicking here, that might be one that you come back and think of later in the game where, you're inside the 10, got to punch it in, got to score touchdowns when you're that close, and the Steelers, again, aren't able to do it. Let's go back here to the comments section of what you guys had to say. during halftime and for the first drive of the second half here. Concepts, all momentum was gone, especially after that trash Mason throw and Darnell's weak attempt to catch it. Guys talking about last week's game. I see here maybe momentum offensively was lost when Darnell Washington got knocked out this game. We'll see what happens now defensively. All of you guys are reacting to that big DK Metcalf catch. DK coming out party, maybe in the Steeler uniform, hopefully, with a performance like this. Got to keep on going back to him. You can't, have other teams continually scheme him out of the game like they have in the past month or so. So Metcalf getting him the ball, thrown his way a bunch, especially when he's hot like this. Keep it going to him. Love to see that keep happening. Goal line offense is cringe from Fluck. We needed Mount Washington there. Could have used Darnell in the middle of the field and give him a short completion and see if he can bowl over a couple of guys, get you closer to the goal line. But, interesting play calling there. The first down pitch that the Ravens sniffed out, and then you immediately go back to two plays where it looked like Rodgers was immediately looking to throw a fade or something to one of the two big receivers out there, MVS or Metcalf. So I don't know. More comments here. Steelers are their own worst enemy in the red zone. Boz is a beast. Indeed it is. Concepts. Going to be really mad if it comes back to bite us. We need touchdowns. Indeed, Freight Train, exactly what I'm saying. Let's hope for a TJ Watt strip sack here. Be a hell of a time for someone on this highest paid defense to make a statement play. Would love that to happen right now. Hager in here as well, echoing same sentiments. I like Warren, but Kenny G's RB1. Great tandem, though, on paper. I'm not sure about that. I think Kenny G, when utilized correctly, looks that good. That's shades of Gainwell when he was with the Eagles, not for, his half the time as a Steeler here. Kickoff from Chris Boswell. This one will make the landing zone. Brought ahead by Keaton Mitchell, and he is going to be tackled there. I think Carson Bruner with another solid tackle right there. Got Mike Tomlin here giving good work on his special teams unit as they come off the field. Back to work comes the Ravens offense. Let's see what adjustments they made to try to exploit this Steelers defense during half. Double back set. They're going to hand it off to Henry out of it, and he is going to get a 6-yard gain at least. They had both Mitchell and Henry lined up to either side of Jackson in the backfield, and Henry's the one who gets the ball. 2nd and 4. Let's see here. They dial up on 2nd and 4. Patrick Ricard, the fullback, last of a dying breed, or one of the last of a dying breed in the backfield. Another handoff here. This time it is to Mitchell, and he gets about half of what they needed. 3rd and 2 now. And here we go. Another 3rd down situation for most of this game. Going back to the first half, the Ravens have been passing the ball on these 3rd and shorts, and Steelers have been making Jackson move around in the pocket, but he's been escaping and finding open guys and sometimes getting the first down on his own. And oh my goodness, a pitch out to the left, and Keaton Mitchell found daylight, and he is going to finally be tackled down inside the 10-yard line. Oh my goodness, a 3rd and 2 run, and Keaton Mitchell took off like a bat out of hell. All he had to do was navigate a little bit of traffic, avoid the diving tackle attempt of Cole Holcomb, and he was gone. James Pierre was able to run him down eventually, but the Ravens all the way down to the 8. Ricard motioning in the backfield, handoff, Henry right up the middle, gets end over end, and he is going to get no gain. Maybe they'll give him a yard. But Derrick Henry, he got sent end over end. Logan Lee, Keanu Benton doing the work there. 2nd and goal now. We're showing Keaton Mitchell on the sideline. Was getting looked at for a second by the trainers. I don't even think James Pierre came up from that tackle feeling all that good. Was, I think, grabbing at his left elbow. Direct snap here to Derrick Henry, and he faked a jet sweep to someone and then ran ahead for, maybe 4 or 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and goal now for from the 3. Here we go. Can the Steelers, backs against the wall, they need a stop here at their own goal line. 3rd and goal. Steelers, looks like they got 4 defensive linemen out there. Jackson's going to pass. Jackson moving up the middle, throws, and it's caught by Isaiah Likely for the touchdown. The seas parted in front of Jackson. Took a couple steps up like he was going to run it. And then the 2 linebackers, I believe, who started approaching Jackson thinking he was going to run it in. He floated it right over the top of Patrick Queen to Isaiah Likely. Jalen Ramsey was the closest DB in coverage. And instead of going for a 2-point conversion here, the Ravens are going to elect to kick a extra point here. It is good from Loop. And back to a 1-score lead for the Steelers, 20-16. The big run from Keaton Mitchell sets up the Lamar Jackson touchdown pass. And here we go, is what I say. Might be all downhill from there. Hopefully that comment doesn't come true. More comments here. Thomas Dowdy. Got some concepts here. Saw that coming. Thomas Dowdy, Pierre slow to get up. Yeah, sort of gripping at his left elbow as he was running for another play. I don't think, did he go off the field at all? I'm not sure if he did or not. Hopefully he's good to return. And now leaves you with 2 corners with an elbow issue, because you got Joey Porter Jr. He came into this one with an elbow contusion of some sort, was limited throughout the week in practice, but was good to go today. And now Pierre, a similar injury. Freight train here, the exact reason that we need touchdowns. Indeed. Flacco again told you guys about Mitchell. Damn it. Yeah, the lightning to Derrick Henry's thunder, and surely showed off his speed right there. Concepts again, bringing it back to officiating. Okay, D, go ahead and let them score. Seems that's what you do this year from Jaeger. I'm not even surprised by it, honestly. Had a feeling the Ravens were going to go down and score there. Someone up earlier had optimism that TJ Watt was going to get a strip sack, but I think we all knew deep down what was coming. Still in the lead, but that feels in my stomach. Says that was ball game. Agreed there, Freight Train, especially, just trying to predict what the 2025 Steelers are going to do. Trends this season would have you believing that the Steelers offense here, they're going to go 3 and out or they're going to have a turnover. It just seems to be the correct trend for how this season has gone, but we will see here. Showing all of the Ravens offensive highlights now. Isaiah Likely with the touchdown catch there. There was reason to believe that Likely would be the number 1 tight end for the Ravens this year, but Mark Andrews turning back the clock. At least they've done that part, good enough today so far. They've kept Mark Andrews in check after reverting back to form, and this is going to be knelt down in the end zone by Jalen Warren. Kickoff there from Tyler Loop. It was, again, drifting like it was heading out of bounds. It hit inbounds and went into the end zone. Warren there was able to grab it and kneel it down for the touchback. So the ball will come out here to the 25-yard line, I believe. Showing DK Metcalf his stats again. 3 receptions of over 20 yards today for DK Metcalf. 5 catches, 133 yards for number 4. And the crowd there at M&T Bank Stadium roars to life as momentum may be shifting in this game. Rodgers is going to start this drive under center. It's like we got, I think, the jumbo tight end package out there. Adam Thielen motions for a second, then goes back to his spot. Handoff here, Jalen Warren right up the gut and unable to break through any further beyond that initial contact. It's going to be a gain of 3 on the play for number 30. 2nd and 7 now. And got a game update of what's going on between the Bills and the Bengals. The Bills were, I think, losing at a point 21-7 to Cincinnati. They've made it a 21-18 game, and they were looking to go to a go-ahead touchdown there, and James Cook fumbling it at the goal line. 2nd and 7 now. Rodgers gets rid of it on a check down here to Jalen Warren, but this is going to come back. Probably there's a flag down, and I think Ben Skoranek on the play is slow to get hurt or slow to get up. He's grabbing at his knee, the back of his left knee. Warren is walking back. It's going to be holding on the offensive line, and the guilty party, his second penalty today, it's the left tackle, Andres Pete. Mike Green, the rookie edge rusher out of Marshall, just with speed beating Pete. Pete had to put him in a headlock to stop him from getting to Rodgers. So now 2nd and 17. That is the Steelers' 6th penalty of the game compared to the Ravens' 3. Rodgers in an empty backfield here on 2nd and 17. Looking to pass, firing, caught near the 20-yard line and turning up to the 25. That is DK Metcalf, his 6th catch of the day. And that is going to turn a 2nd and 17 into a 3rd and manageable. It'll be 3rd and 5. And again, another Steeler down. This time it's Andres Pete. He's having a rotten last 60 seconds. Takes the penalty and now is down hurt on the play and getting worked out on the sideline right now, warming up, just elevated from the practice squad. And now he's going to be blocking Aaron Rodgers' blind side. Dylan Cook was here for a couple of years, did not make the team out of camp. They brought him back on the practice squad. He's been there all year. First elevation of the season for this game here today. And he's going to go from being on the sideline to being in the thick of things against a young electric pass rusher protecting the blind side of a Hall of Fame quarterback. But hey, no pressure there, Dylan Cook. No pressure whatsoever. Let's go back here to the comments section. Thomas may be questionable, or saying that holding penalty was questionable. Toss plays on 1st down in the red zone seem to never work. Screens, however, to Kenny G do work. Some sort of fascination with pitch plays and screen passes is what Arthur Smith has. He is addicted to this, and why they keep doing it, I have no idea. No idea. Concepts. Now we have 3 left tackles hurt. Steelers have more injuries than anyone by a long shot. I don't know about that, but yeah, you're down now to your 4th string left tackle. No Broderick Jones. He's on IR with a neck injury, probably out for the rest of the season. Calvin Anderson, he is inactive today with a knee injury. Andres Pete now heading out for the game for at least one snap with an injury. And Dylan Cook, the fourth stringer, up from the practice squad, about to come in. If he goes down, then you put Spencer Anderson out there. I know he's got 5-position versatility across the line, but, left tackle, I don't know if that would really be his strong suit or not. Hopefully Andres Pete will be all right and be able to continue here. Thomas Dowdy, we need at least one first down on this drive. Indeed, we do, to give the defense a breather here, because you cannot send this Ravens offense back out there and gain any more momentum, because then they're going to become unstoppable at that point. Jaeger, Steelers second half make me nervous. Nervous, but sort of like a calm nervous where it's like at least you're expecting it to happen. So we'll see there. Oh, great. That looked to be almost non-contact. Pete got put in a spin cycle and then tried to recover and ended up hurting himself that way. So great. 3rd and 5 here for the Steelers. Rodgers with Gainwell to his left in the backfield. Maybe Rodgers trying to get him to jump off sides. Now Gainwell gets up on the line. Rodgers, empty backfield, looking to pass. Deep shot down the sideline. He's got a man. Calvin Austin makes up for himself. Dropped the ball earlier in the game. Austin on a go route down the sideline. Just speed. Blazes past Chidobe Awuzie. Rodgers, another pinpoint pass, dropping it in a bucket. He's been excellent on those here today. And the Steelers go from 3rd and 5 back in their own territory. It's now 1st and 10 from the Ravens 44. Handoff here. Caleb Johnson is going to try to run to the right here, and he is going to get met in the backfield. Roquan Smith blitzing. Just snuck through there and blew up that play. It's a loss of 1 on the play for the rookie out of Iowa. 2nd and 11. Rodgers with that last completion there to Calvin Austin, That is now his first 200-plus yard passing game since week 9. It's been a long time coming for him to finally start clicking, passing the ball again. Rodgers here, 2nd and 11. Jalen Warren. Warren somehow is going to get a 7-yard gain or so out of this. Caught that ball near the line of scrimmage, was able to duck out of one tackle attempt from, I think, Teddy Buchanan, the rookie linebacker, is able to slip past Marlon Humphrey as well and nearly pick up the first down. Andres Pete, left tackle for the Steelers, who was just heard a moment ago. He is now under his own power walking back to the Steelers locker room. So that is both a good and a bad sign. 3rd and 4 here. MVS out there for the Steelers. 2 receivers set to each side. Rodgers to pass. Gets rid of it again. Similar play concept to Jalen Warren. He's up the sideline. No one's going to catch him. That is a Pittsburgh Steelers touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. The same exact play. This time, puts 6 on the board. Jalen Warren lined up to the right of Rodgers. He had Metcalf and Valdez-Scantling out right. Those 2 men divert the corner and the linebacker towards the middle of the field. No one travels with Jalen Warren out of the backfield, and he just cruises up the sideline, and no one had a chance in hell of catching him. The Steelers, they get that all-important respond touchdown that we were just talking about. It is now a 27-16 game. They do not go 3 and out. They do not turn the ball over. They do not have the Ravens keep a momentum before they head back out there on offense. The Steelers, no left tackle, no tight end, no problem. Jalen Warren, finds the end zone for 6 more, plus the extra point from Boswell. That was good. So the Steelers, 27-16, they lead. Let's go back here to the comments section. Travis Dowdy pointing out, looking like a jam knee for Andres Pete. Yeah, I think when he tried to step back to, keep himself from going down, that's when he hurt himself there. Hopefully he's all right. I think, hopefully they're just taking him back to the locker room for an MRI to get him checked out. Maybe he'll be able to return. That's even better than a first down, says Dowdy. I'm shocked. Everyone in the comments section fired up. Muth was also wide open on that play as well. Yeah, I definitely saw that. That ball was already out to Warren, but from the behind the formation view there, Muth is running wide open down the field, giving Rodgers a, hey, I'm open. And you know what? Still resulted in a touchdown nonetheless. You'll take them any way you can get them. That time the Steelers could have had it both ways. So maybe file that play into the playbook for a future game, because they ran that same exact play just about a moment ago. Warren was able to break a couple tackle attempts for a 7-yard gain. Then he turns on the Jets. No one travels with him for the touchdown. Great play call or audible there from Concepts. I agree. The trick is to score before the red zone. Indeed it is, Concepts. Can't have any sort of red zone touchdown scoring issues if you don't get to the red zone to begin with. Just score on those long plays right there. Freight Train in the comments section. F yeah with a $2 contribution. I'm actually shocked. Thought that was going to be one of those typical disaster drives after the defense lets a touchdown up. But hey, right response there, finally, for the Steelers offense. Still not going to get too high. There's still a lot of football here, but that was a promising sign that this game may not be all that over before the Ravens run away with it there. So good stuff there. Looking here on this replay again. There indeed were 2 guys wide open on that play. Tony Romo comes back. The Ravens had outside linebacker Mike Green and 2 DBs on that side of the field. 2 of them rushed, and one of them covered Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So that's how Muth and Warren came open. You had 3 guys on that side, and only one guy actually covered someone. So we'll take that big error there from the Ravens defense. Kickoff here, it's going to be brought all the way back to the 36-yard line by Rasheen Ali. Almost had an opportunity there to break a big one, but Steelers were able to stop him before he progressed any further. Army-Navy game coming up next weekend. They're showing here on CBS. By the way, I think the college football game, or the college football playoff, just got set before we went live here today. No Notre Dame for the CFP playoff. One ACC team made it, and it was neither of the teams that played in the ACC championship last night. Instead, it's Miami who gets in as a, committee selection. Ravens here looking to pass. Jackson rolling out to the right, and he is going to go down finally. Lamar looking downfield, was trying his best to escape again, and this time TJ Watt, mirroring his every move, was able to wrap him up at the leg and take him down. Lamar might have gotten a yard gain, but it brings up 2nd and 9. Henry in the backfield. Lamar hands the ball off to Henry. Henry running, still going, and jeez. Steelers had him stopped at the line of scrimmage. He then bounced off of a couple guys, maybe gave a stiff arm or 2 in there and got a positive gain there. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now for Baltimore. 6 on the play from 22. He is going to stay out there on the field for this 3rd down so they don't bring on Mitchell or Ali. 3rd and 3. Rushing yards in this game. The Ravens, 147 rushing yards. The Steelers, 33. Both teams operating their offenses efficiently in many ways. And designed keeper here, he's going to pull it and run. That's Lamar, and he is going to pick up that 1st down. Just wide open grass to the right. Pulled the hand off to Henry and got probably about 10 yards there before he was knocked out of bounds. Picked up the first down with ease. I believe it was Jalen Ramsey who came up and tried to knock him out of bounds. Almost took out Danny Smith on the sideline. Lamar now going to be under center again. Isaiah Likely motions. Handoff. No, faking the handoff. Lamar pulling it, throwing it down the middle of the field line on a perfect throw to Rashad Bateman. He catches it all the way up, I think, near the 20. Maybe the 30. Now I see, yeah, it's the 30-yard line. Bateman just catches it and immediately goes down, holding on to that football. 1 minute and counting down left to play here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 again for Baltimore. Are they going to try to put this ball maybe in the end zone before the quarter ends? Be tough. Likely motions again. Jackson faking the handoff again. This time he's going to run it, and he is going to get 6 yards. Tackled by JPJ and Chuck Clark on the play. 2nd and 3 now. Ravens probably will have time to get one more play off here before the fourth quarter comes up. Cole Holcomb in on that stop as well. Looking at the play clock and the game clock, there is a second difference, so the Ravens do need to run a play here. Ricard, the fullback, motions. Handoff. Henry hits the hole. Running through Cole Holcomb, and Chuck Clark and Holcomb hang on. They trip him up just enough. He is down at the 15-yard line, and on that play, we will head to the fourth quarter. The Steelers trying to hang on to this lead for dear life, but the Ravens, they're pushing. We'll see what the fourth quarter has in store. Back here in a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. CBS quick to come back to play action here from commercial. Derrick Henry gets the handoff. He's now going to run to the right, and he is going to get no gain. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play. Keanu Benton, an excellent tackle right there. Was going to come back from break and say 15 minutes stands between these teams either having a high likelihood of winning the AFC North and going to the playoffs, or damn near diminishing and wiping out their playoff hopes altogether. So which team will get there? We have 15 minutes to decide right now. 2nd and 9 here for the Ravens. Underneath to Rasheen Ali Jackson. And Ali is going to go down and kept running like he was knocked down into the end zone. It's going to be 3rd down here for the Ravens. Ali breaking a tackle on that slow developing screen at the line of scrimmage. And yeah, his elbow is way down right there. So I don't know what he's doing, trying to act like he's going to score a touchdown there. So right now, 14:04. Brandon Echols now slowly walking off the field here. Another injury. The Ravens are reacting like there should have been a touchdown there. I don't know what the hell you're arguing about. There's a freaking elbow down, you dipshits. Well, let me jump around like we scored a touchdown. No, look at the board, dumbass. Holy hell. Back to the comments section here. You guys getting your comments in there. Our concepts here. TJ sold on 3rd down there. No hate, just sealed his edge. Just didn't seal his edge. Agreed there. Definitely saw that on the 1 Lamar 1st down scramble. 3rd and 4 now for Baltimore at the 10. 1st down marker is the 6. Lamar moving around. Fires. Oh, it's off the hands of Rashad Bateman. Woo! The Ravens may have just had a walk-in touchdown there on a crosser from Rashad Bateman. And Bateman, the ball clanking right off of his fingers and incomplete. Lamar again buying time and, oh boy, right off the fingers of Bateman. Steelers, they just dodged a big one there, and the Ravens are going to settle for 3 instead of scoring the 6 there. Tyler Loop on to kick this 28-yard field goal from the right hash, and it is up and good. So the Ravens now back to a 1-score game, but they are down by 8. So this one, it's going to be a tight finish again. Looks like Brandon Echols, they just showed there on the sideline, looks like he might be going through concussion protocol. They did, by the way, confirm, Burt Lawton, Steelers PR man, a couple minutes ago, he did confirm Andres Pete being evaluated for a possible concussion, so it is not a knee issue like what we thought. Andres Pete now, he is the 4th or 5th Steeler today to be evaluated for a concussion, and anyone who's gone into concussion protocol already today, I don't think have returned from it, so we will keep an eye on that. Looks like it might be Dylan Cook the rest of the way. More comments from you guys. Now the Ravens are going to score every single drive. Got to have touchdowns every drive. They dropped one right there. Their freight train and concepts right here. Bateman always drops versus us. Yeah, remember him dropping passes in that game where the Ravens had like 10 drops a year or two ago. And that's Bateman's 2nd drop, I think, here today. Or it might be him and Zay Flowers I'm confusing. I think they might have a drop each. So Steelers dodged that one there. They still stay up by a touchdown in a 2-point conversion. And it would be awfully nice for the Steelers here to begin this 4th quarter to put up a touchdown, or at least put up points, make it a 2-score game again, because then time does not become the Ravens' friend. And that plays into, well, I would say that plays into our advantage that they be playing against the clock. But then I remember our 2-minute defense this season hasn't been all that hot. Now, they haven't really been able to test that 2-minute defense in game situations all that recently because of the poor defensive outputs throughout the game. But today, Might be a good time for that 2-minute defense of the Steelers to be good, because the Ravens might be going to that if the Steelers are able to put together a long drive here that ends in points. Jaeger here, usually hoping the defense will win the game, now hoping they don't lose the game. My, how times have changed with that saying right there, Jaeger. Is there going to be anybody left to finish the season? So many injuries. You might be looking at a situation where they're calling frickin', William Jackson or someone back off the couch to play corner, because tons and tons of injuries right now. Kickoff here coming up from Tyler Loop as the Steelers offense about to get going again. Loop, his kick is away, and this one is going to be fielded back at the 5 by, I believe, Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell now running right vertically across the field, or horizontally, and now he goes down. And the Steelers are going to start this drive with not all that good of a field position around the 22-yard line. More comments here from Concepts. What is most concussions to happen to a team in a single game? Might be setting an awful record. I don't know. Think now. Harrison, he's definitely concussion protocol. Darnell Washington, add Eccles, Andres Pete. Trying to think, does anybody else have concussion screens today? I've had multiple concussions in my life, and they are awful, obviously, of course. Maybe that explains why I'm how I am. That's all right, Concepts. Played hockey and was a catcher in baseball growing up. I'm pretty sure between those two sports combined, taking hits in hockey, taking foul balls off the face mask in baseball, I'm pretty sure I've had multiple micro concussions in my career, but never one documented. Never went to the hospital for one, so I'll take that as a victory. 1st and 10 here for the Steelers. They were discussing something a moment ago, the officials, not sure what it was. Steelers start this drive from the 23, faking the handoff, rolling out to the right is Rodgers. Caught a yard behind the line of scrimmage by Metcalf. He's able to make one man miss, and he'll dive out of bounds after a 3-yard gain. Got a game update now on the Bills-Bengals game. Josh Allen with a super long touchdown run to make it a 28-25 game. That game, 7.5 minutes left to go in the 4th. Maybe the Bills can do us a favor. If they're going to beat us, they might as well beat the Bengals as well and bury them in the division, more or less. Pat Freiermuth in motion here. Jumbo tight end set for the Steelers. Spencer Anderson out there. It's going to be a pitch run to the left. And again, this play, it only gets a yard, maybe 2 at best. Jalen Warren that time gets a couple of feet beyond the line of scrimmage. It's now 3rd and 6. And what right, sense there is a pitch play that hasn't worked all day? Why are we running that when we need to, make this as 3rd and short as possible? Now it's 3rd and 6. Did not get that play call right there. Ravens sniff it out, and now you're at risk of going 3 and out. Rodgers motioning Kenneth Gainwell all around in the backfield. Now Rodgers gets set. Rodgers, quick pass here. It's a screen setup. And hang on, we have a penalty. Oh my God. It's delay of game on the offense. We talked about it earlier. Who was it? I think Thomas. You brought it up earlier. Steelers are winding the play clock down awfully close. And that time, they've got too close to the fire and it burned them. 3rd and 11 now. Outstanding work here. $12:08 left to play in this football game. Steelers at risk of punting the ball back to the Ravens, up by 8. Rodgers, empty backfield, back to pass, firing. It's going to be caught well short of the sticks by Freiermuth, and that's some Matt Canada type stuff right there. Need 3rd and 11. Let's throw a hitch route about half of the distance that you need and punt the ball back. That was a surrender and a half play right there just to keep the clock rolling. That right there, I believe Mike Tomlin had some influence on that one, because Rodgers at least would have pushed it down the field a little bit closer. to the first down marker. Unreal stuff. Corliss Waitman back at his own 8 or 12 maybe, punts this away. It's going to be fielded here at the 21 by Wester. Wester running to the left, now trying to spin back here to the right. He's going to meet Cole Holcomb all the same, bringing it back to about the 32-yard line, and that is where the Ravens will start this drive. To tie the game is what they're going for here. Concepts here show a replay. I don't trust that delay of game. Honestly, I didn't pay all that much attention to the play clock on that one, but definitely was close if they called it, because, I mean, I thought Rodgers got it off in time, but maybe they'll say, hey, we've let him go, 2 seconds or so, an extra second or so before. Let's not do it this time. Freight Train here, hate to say it, but that is exactly what we didn't need, and now watch the Ravens drive and score. I know Freight Train. You've seen this movie before. I've seen this movie before. We've all seen this movie before. And it's probably coming up here. He'll probably be a big Derrick Henry run or something like that. Defense has to stop this drive for 0 points. Just stop them in general. No, I mean, they kick a field goal on this drive. The Ravens do. They're still down a touchdown, so I'll even take that at this point. You're up by 8. Just can't let them tie up this ball game here. Concepts here. Why no delay of game on the refs for taking 5 years to announce eligible receiver? Refs should be penalized for incompetence and slowing down momentum. That's now what? That penalty. That's now what? The 7th or 8th penalty to the Ravens. 3, maybe at most 4 in the game. Yeah. Apparently it's the Steelers doing all wrong here today. But hey, what do I know? See if there's any injury updates on Twitter on anyone, because this is getting real hard to keep track of these injuries. Brandon Echols is being evaluated for a possible concussion. Whole team is concussed today. Oh my goodness. It's not funny that they're concussed. It's just funny that, of course, it's a parade of them. And it's happening to the Steelers. Mike Tomlin, his Tuesday press conference, is going to do his whole recap of this game. On to the injury front. Whole team is in concussion protocol. Limit them early in the week. Let their participation in practice be our guide. We'll leave the light on for them heading into the game against the Dolphins. Questions? Yep, that'll be Tomlin come Tuesday. Here we go. By the way, apparently the Ravens got away with a penalty there on that punt return. It was like Ben Skoranek was getting mugged. Deep downfield and wide open is Zay Flowers. The Ravens, they immediately flip the field. They go from their own 32 to just about the Steelers' 32 on one pass. Zay Flowers wide open, and what is it with the Steelers putting their shitty safeties on Zay Flowers? They had Chuck Clark in coverage earlier. That was a big first down catch by Flowers. That time, Jabril Peppers was in coverage, and he completely lost them. Stop putting safeties on other teams' number ones. Can we try that a little bit, please? Let's try that. Derrick Henry had a 5-yard run on first down, so it's now going to be 2nd and 5 from the 29, about 28 and a half actually. Buffalo just got a pick 6 on Joe Burrow. Is that going to mean anything? Not really with the way this game's going. Hand off to Derrick Henry running to the left, and Henry somehow just kept pushing and got about 4 yards there. Someone, when Henry entered that mass of humanity, someone on the Steelers went like flying the opposite direction. Not the way Henry was hitting. Like they tried to like hit a hole where Henry they thought was going to, and they completely whiffed. 3rd and 2 now. It's going to be 9:30. And counting down here on the clock, handoff Derrick Henry, and he is stopped. Derrick Henry needed 2, only got 1. Think TJ Watt, Logan Lee, Chuck Clark came down from safety there to make that stop. Yeah, that was Clark and Lee, and I think Keanu Benton or Y.A. Black, I can't tell who that is, was at the bottom holding Henry there. 4th and 1, obviously, Ravens are going to go for it here. Patrick Ricard, the fullback in motion. Watch for the pull out here from Lamar. Handoff. Henry running to the left. He's going to find the space needed and get the first down. And now, looks like Henry and Y.A. Black here. Zach Connor, Cam Hayward. Someone for the Steelers over there. It's slow to get up. I think that's Y.A. Black. No, that is Cam Hayward who is down there. Easy. First down pickup there. Apparently, Cam is off the field now. I wonder if he was hurt at all there. No stoppage for the injury. Handoff again. This time it's Ali, and Ali is going to get a gain of 2 from the 20 to the 18. Nick Herbig is Ezio Tememwo in on the tackle. 2nd and 8. Ravens continuing to churn the ball on the ground. I believe at one point were well over 100 yards. What's their yardage on the ground now? They're up to 186 rushing yards. So the Steelers, by the time this one's over, probably at risk of having another 200 rushing yard game against them. Dave Flowers motions. Lamar back to pass. Lamar pressure around him. Lamar gets rid of it. And it's incomplete at the feet of Likely. But damn it, the Steelers, they had 4 guys surrounding Lamar there. He slowly was disappearing behind the big white jerseys. Patrick Queen blitzing untouched. Tried to wrap up Lamar at the legs there. Slipped out of it. Did Jackson, and incomplete. 3rd and 8 now. Both teams in today's ball game shooting 50% on 3rd down. Both teams 6 for 12. Lamar back to pass on 3rd and 8. Buying time. Lamar stepping all around. Lamar gets rid of it again. Incomplete again at the feet of Mark Andrews. The Steelers again bringing pressure. Lamar trying to scramble around all he could. Steelers couldn't bring him down, but that sets up a 4th and long. And what do the Ravens do? That is a coverage sack right there. They're showing all the DBs on the field covering their guys stupendously. And the Ravens, they indeed are going to settle for 3 and try to kick this field goal here. It will still remain a touchdown lead for the Steelers. But now the lead goes from 8 to 5. The kick is up and good from Loop. 27 to 22. 7-10 left to go in this ball game. The Steelers offense, their defense bails them out for that terrible 3-and-out a moment ago. Now it's the offense's turn to pick up the defense here and chew up some time. They did have, I think, not too long ago, maybe last week or the week before, they did have a nice long touchdown drive. But that was when they were down in the game. I think that was against the Bears with Mason Rudolph. Now, can they have another one of those here? 7-10. Even if you go down, kick a field goal, I'll take that as well. You'll force the Ravens to, work to getting a touchdown in the 2-point conversion. I'll take that as this point. But the thing is, could the lack of a running game today for the Steelers, is that going to be an issue here? They're trying to kill clock, and they've ran the ball 15 times today, but they've only gained 31 yards. Their longest run of the day here, if I can find this here, their longest run of the day is 6 yards from Kenneth Gainwell. He has 4 carries for 15 yards. Jaylen Warren has 6 carries for 10 yards. So the running game, they haven't relied on them really at all in today's game. They might need to rely on them here in a big way. Kickoff here, it's going to be caught at the 10 and a running start for Kenneth Gainwell, and he's going to get a solid return right there. That is a good start into at least getting into field goal range for Chris Boswell. Gainwell, a running start catch of that kickoff at the 10-yard line, and he is able to get up maybe a yard beyond the 40-yard line. And the Steelers offense now back to work. 1st and 10. Dylan Cook still in that huddle at left tackle. So Andres Pete, I should say, not going to return to this game. Adam Thielen out there to start this drive. I think so is, no, that's DK Metcalf there. I was about to say MVS. It was a tall wide receiver. Couldn't tell. Adam Thielen motioning here. Rodgers bobbled the snap there. Now he's going to pass it here, and it's at the feet of Jonnu Smith. What the hell was that? Trying to set up a screen there to the right with Jonnu. With maybe, I think, Freiermuth and Thielen blocking. And Rodgers there. Looks like he intentionally tried to spin the ball and get the laces. And that throw, I have no idea what the hell happened on that throw. Just grounded it right at Smith's feet. Don't start that stuff now, A-Rod. 2nd and 10. More importantly, that incompletion stopped the clock. Rodgers takes the snap, firing over the middle, and oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, the Ravens intercept it. There's a dog pile right now. Rodgers was throwing over the middle of the field. It was batted right back to Rodgers, and he fought with 2 Ravens for that ball, and the referees immediately say that it was the Ravens' interception. Let's look again here. Rodgers throwing this ball. It's going to go off the hands of... It's going to go out off the wrist of number 91. That is CJ Okoye. And Rodgers fighting for the football with Teddy Buchanan and maybe Roquan Smith. I thought Rodgers was down. Look here. Gets batted right back to Rodgers. Rodgers tips it to himself. He catches it. Rodgers has possession of it, and he's down there. They got to overturn this. This should not be a Ravens interception. On top of it, whoever 69 is, the previous play is under review. Whoever that is, 69, Josh Tupou, about to drop an F-bomb here. While Rodgers is down there, gives him a shove right in the chin down into the turf. Yeah, right there. Rodgers has possession of it, and he's down on his knees after catching that ricochet. This has got to be down by contact. And then Rodgers, still fighting with Buchanan. Yeah, Rodgers has it. And he's down there. Yeah, Josh Tupou shoves his head right into the dirt there after the fact. Now Rodgers finally loses possession there. I still think he has possession when he's down by contact. Right there. Right there he has possession. Holding the football like this. I mean, Buchanan's got both of his hands on it too, but Rodgers clearly has the possession, and his both knees are down. That's got to be just a loss on the play. Back to the comment section here. You guys are reacting to this in real time. That's got to be Steelers ball. They're reviewing it here. There's no way that this is not Steelers ball. Rodgers with possession. He even still has it right there. He tucks it, and then Buchanan rips it out. But he still has it tucked. He's in possession. I have no idea how this stays a Ravens interception. Terrible call. Ref said their ball well before the play was over. Rodgers had the ball and is down. Yeah, here we go. All right, here we go. Pittsburgh player was down by contact. Shut up, Harbaugh. Shut up, asshole. Yo, you're going to bitch even more now. Get the hell out of here. You're going to scream no like an infant. He's down right there. That's not twice now today. Harbaugh is pissing all of us off with his baby-like overreactions to a clear play. That goes the Steelers' way. Steelers ball, but it's now 3rd and a country mile. Rodgers gets the play on 3rd and 19, so that self-completion to Rodgers lost 9 on the play. 3rd and 19. Here comes your surrender, check down to get the clock rolling, and then they'll punt it back to the Ravens. If I had to guess here. 3rd and 19, Rodgers here in a empty backfield. Gainwell is lined up even with Rodgers on the 26-yard line, but he's well over towards the Steelers sideline and faking. Yep, now we go back to the screen. And what a concept. What a freaking play that was. So the Steelers have a 2-receiver, maybe 3-receiver set over to the right. It's a screen play all the way because no one else is running a route. And Rodgers pump fakes the screen, and then goes back to him. By that time, all the receivers are upfield, not blocking anyone. They run past all the guys they were responsible for blocking. That was terrible coaching by Arthur Smith and terrible decision by Rodgers. Punt from Corliss Waitman. It's going to be fielded at the 16, and Wester is able to bring it maybe a couple hairs beyond the 20-yard line. They never cease to amaze the offense with their incompetence and lack of awareness that, hey, if I hold on to this ball of maybe 2 extra seconds, that's going to be the difference between my receivers only being 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, ready to block anyone in front of them, and being, already 8 to 10 yards downfield, and the guys they're supposed to block are already behind them. Unbelievable. Ravens are going to start this drive from the 22. And this is the time where they run it right down the Steelers' throat. And here we go. Derrick Henry right up the middle for a 40, up to the 43-yard line. Didn't see that one coming. Totally was unforeseen that was going to happen. At least a gain of 20 yards, maybe 22, somewhere in that range. Look, you can drive through that hole. Absolutely zero chance the Steelers had at stopping that. Henry with the ability to walk through that hole created by the offensive line. Alex Highsmith out there for the Steelers with his banged up ankle. Handoff again, and Derrick Henry again. You know how the saying goes, 3 yards in a cloud of dust for some running backs. For Henry, it's more like 6 yards in a cloud of dust. Ravens' last 4 possessions, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. Wonder where the pattern is going to head here. 2nd and 5. The Ravens officially, on that big Derrick Henry run a couple moments ago, have gone over 210 rushing yards in the game. So back-to-back games, the Steelers have given up over 200 on the ground. Lamar, passing this time, avoids 1 sack, is going to just throw this one away. Intentional grounding. He didn't get it past the line of scrimmage. They're going to call it incomplete. I'm just being, optimistic with that one. Lamar, passing all the way. Avoids the sack of Wyatt Black. TJ Watt, thankfully, was able to hold on to the leg of Jackson and force him to go down, because if Lamar breaks free of that, he might just take off and run. So now it's 3rd and 5. Ravens, they could go anywhere here. They can get up, hand the ball off to Henry. They'll probably get you at least 3 or 4 yards, make it a 4th and short. Instead, Lamar's going to pass it. Deep shot down the right sideline, looking for D-Hop and out of bounds. It was caught by Hopkins, but James Pierre forced them out. Let's take a look here. Hopkins and, yep, out all the way. Out of bounds all the way, but bad news is when they were showing Hopkins and Pierre walking back to the line of scrimmage, I thought I saw a Steeler down, writhing in pain. Indeed, and this is a new guy. Patrick Queen is now down and hurt, and he is just grabbing at his head right now, and also they are trying to stretch out his right leg. So there we go. So just real quick, well, they're trying to work on Queen here. This just went to commercial. Let's go through all the Steelers' defensive players who got hurt today. We'll set aside Darnell Washington and Andres Pete. Yeah, Keanu Benton go down, I think, like first or second play of the game, maybe third. Alex Highsmith with an ankle injury. Patrick Queen's now down. Brandon Eccles was in concussion protocol. James Pierre, I think, banged up his elbow a little bit. Am I missing any other starters? Cam Hayward, not sure if he got banged up at all or not. This is now like the 7th, maybe 8th player on defense. Starter, too. Guys who are getting real live reps that have been hurt today in some way, shape, or form. This is unbelievable. 4th and 5 will be coming up for the Ravens when they come back here from commercial. Back to the comments section here. Why sucks talking about Benton there. Yeah, I mean, I think Keanu Benton, his gap integrity is absolutely horrible. I would not be surprised if he is at fault for that long Henry run a moment ago. That's one of his downsides. He might be a good pass rusher, but holding gaps in the running game, he cannot do it anymore. As I predicted, 200-plus rushing game. They're able to get Patrick Queen to the sideline. He's getting worked on there now. Looking here at THP, Joe Burrow just gave away a win, potentially. You have to fill me in on that there, THP, or maybe they'll fill it in on a game break here with ESPN or on CBS here in a moment. Queen re-aggravated his glute injury, it looks like. He pulled his ass again, did Patrick Queen. Hopefully he's all right and able to return. Cole Holcomb and Peyton Wilson the rest of the way, it seems like. Malik Harrison went out earlier, too. 4th and 5, Ravens go for it, and it is caught for a first down by Zay Flowers. Flowers caught that at the line to gain. Jalen Ramsey wasn't quick enough to stop him from getting the first down, and Baltimore keeps this drive alive. It's now going to be 1st and 10 with 4:17 left to play in this game. Flowers in motion. Lamar to pass again. And pass off here. And, oh boy, Derrick Henry just dropped another one. Henry leaked out of the backfield. And Lamar had him wide open. And if Henry catches that, then you got Eccles, maybe James Pierre and Jalen Ramsey standing in between Henry and a touchdown. And Henry might bowl over every single one of those guys. So 2nd and 10, Steelers get another lucky break on a drop. Handoff here, Henry, and woo! How about that hit 5-6? Alex Highsmith, untouched off the left side there, was able to meet Henry at the line of scrimmage. They are only going to get a yard out of this, but that was a heavy lumbering hit laid on Henry there by 56. 3rd and long again. 3rd and 9. Please do not have any sort of dumbass coverage here. 3 receiver stack at the top of the screen. Rashid Ali in the backfield to Jackson's left. Jackson looking to pass. Firing over the middle. Wide open. How is he that wide open? It's Zay Flowers at the 30, staying in, and finally is diving down at the 13-yard line. How is their top guy that open? You have 3 guys lined up on 3 receivers. The 3 go with the 2. That was just like Jamar Chase getting wide open late in the ball game against the Steelers. What, about a month and a half ago on Thursday night? Wide open. And then he makes Peyton Wilson and someone else look idiotic, slipping down. It's now 1st and 10 at the 13. Jackson passing over the middle. Guess what? Wide open. No. That's going to be a touchdown. Wide open, touchdown. Caught there by Isaiah Likely, his second of the game. Held the ball long enough, was punched out at the end, but clearly had possession in the end zone for a touchdown. Yeah, has 1, 2, even. Yeah, has both feet down in the end zone with possession. Unbelievable. Actually believable. Way, way believable. I just keep instinctually going back to that. We're still looking at it here. It's a touchdown on the field. Previous play is under review here. Are they going to... They call it back? The referee didn't have his mic on, so we didn't hear what he said. John Harbaugh is incensed right now. It was called a touchdown. Likely had 2 feet down. The ball came out just before the third step hit. Huh? Oh my God, they're calling that incomplete. They are calling that incomplete. They said he completed 2 out of the 3, but not the third process of catching the ball. The NFL doesn't know what a catch is either. The Ravens on 2nd and 10 here. Lamar firing Derrick Henry. Stiff arms just absolutely babies Peyton Wilson. He's going to get a gain of 8 here. So now it's going to be 3rd and 2 for Baltimore here with the clock at 2:31 and still ticking. Or no, the clock stops here at 2:31. So the Ravens, that touchdown taken off the board. Timeout called here by the Steelers at 2:31. Well, I guess, Tomlin's knowing they're going to score and you want to save as much time for the offense. That would be my guess there. Wow. So they take the touchdown off the board. Possession, step 1. Got 2 feet there. And it is Joey Porter Jr. who knocks the ball out milliseconds before the third step hits. And incomplete. Holy hell. Well, that one's going to set Twitter on fire. That's for sure. That one, you're going to see that play if the Ravens lose this game. That is going to be one that gets replayed all day long. Look in here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. After this play here, maybe on the next commercial, we got some Pittsburgh Penguins news to talk about. Lamar Jackson taking the snap. Delayed handoff, and he stopped! He is stopped! Flag down, though. It was a slow exchange on the handoff between Jackson and Henry. Illegal formation on the offense. That penalty is declined. That is a loss of 2 on the play. So it is going to be 4th and 4 here for Baltimore. Or 4th and 3. Illegal formation on the Ravens. That was such a slow handoff between Jackson and Henry. And I think Alex Highsmith just blew that up. 4th and 5. First down markers at the 3. Jackson to pass. Jackson scrambling around. Throwing. End zone. Incomplete! Patrick Queen. No flags. And Mark Andrews, haul it in. And the Steelers, with 2:22 left to go, turn the ball over on downs. Lamar tried to buy as much time as he could. He had Andrews. There was absolutely zero grabs from Patrick Queen. And he batted the ball there for good measure. And the Steelers turn over on downs by Baltimore. Holy hell. And that right there is why you will see that non-touchdown catch for the Ravens on ESPN tomorrow morning. Steelers lining up in a super heavy-duty formation here. They hand it off to Jalen Warren. They are going to get maybe a half a yard here at most. This clock is now going to be stopped here at 2:17. The Ravens take a timeout, their first of 3. So I assume the Ravens, they're going to make the Steelers run the ball again here. They'll take another timeout, and then they might even, who knows, take a third and keep this clock at the 2-minute warning. Honestly, no, I take that back. The Ravens are probably, you're at 2:17 here. Unless you think the Steelers are only going to run maybe 6 seconds off the clock here, 7, 8, somewhere in that range. Unless you think their plays are going to be started and over that quick. I think the Ravens are going to let this run down to the 2-minute warning. I think they take another timeout here after this next play. Rodgers under center. Heavy formation again. Adam Thielen out there. Jumbo tight end Anderson in motion. It's going to be a pitch running to the right. No one blocking. Jalen Warren somehow is going to shift his body weight and spin forward for 2 yards, maybe 3. So 3rd and 7. Ravens take another timeout with 2:11. If you're Baltimore here, you stop the Steelers. You take your last timeout, the 2-minute warning is still going to be up when the 2-minute warning, it's still going to, go off when the punt from Waitman goes away. So the Ravens, they're probably just going to have the Steelers run this play and watch it go down to the 2-minute warning. Showing here a Ravens fumble in the end zone from earlier in the season. Likely doing that again here today. Unbelievable. 11 of you in here right now. Like, share, subscribe to the channel on your way in. This is an absolutely another insane, wild, unpredictable ending to Steelers-Ravens. Rodgers is going to pass here, and oh my God, it's incomplete. Oh my God. Looking for Marquez Valdez-Scantling on a slant. And it's incomplete, and the Ravens with 1 timeout. The clock stops at 2:08. Corliss Waitman's going to punt this ball from his own end zone. I want to know why MVS was out there. Punt away from Waitman here. I'll explain why here in a second. All the way back at the 36, Wester bringing it up, spinning out of 1 tackle and going to be tackled down there. So now the Baltimore offense is going to come back out on the field, 1:56 with 1 timeout. And they're probably around the 45-yard line. I want to know, not only am I pissed off that they threw the pass, why is Marquez Valdez-Scantling in there? Hold up. It's going to be a holding here on the Ravens on the run back. So move them back a little bit more. Patrick Queen is walking out there on the field for the Steelers. All right, now that they're finally going to commercial, why the hell is Marquez Valdez-Scantling out there? 0 targets today. He's probably had, 5, maybe 10 snaps at most. And now, biggest play of the ball game offensively, we're going to throw him the ball ice cold on a slant in tight coverage. I have no idea what the hell. The play call, it's headache inducing enough. The decision that is the guy that you're going to have run the route it makes no sense to me. Honestly, that's the type of situation where you rather have, your small, speedy guy like Calvin Austin doing that. Because at least he might be able to, get enough separation with his speed and be able to haul that in. I have no idea why they just ran that play. And looking at reading your comments here without popping them up, it looks like you guys have no idea either. This game, highs, lows. We went from the game is over to the game is back on. Now it feels like the game is over again. The Ravens are going to start this drive. See here, let me update the ESPN game bug here. This drive is going to start from the Baltimore 26. They have 1:56 and 1 timeout to score a touchdown, down 5. Again, they're still on commercial here. I can't get over that play call from Arthur Smith. The Steelers were somehow to escape with this game. Maybe Arthur Smith wouldn't be getting a mention, but now I think that, again, even if the Steelers pull out this win, his play calling again made things so much harder on the offense, and now that decision made it harder on the defense because instead of, the clock running down to the 2-minute warning and then punting it, now the Ravens are going to have maybe 6 extra seconds than what they needed. I can't deal with Arthur Smith anymore. I hope he takes a head coaching job somewhere else. But if any, NFL executive watches this stream, they're going to think he's an absolute idiot. Doesn't take a rocket scientist. Yet, yeah. Here we go. The ball game coming down to this drive. The Ravens from their own 26. Isaiah Likely in motion. Lamar to pass, firing over the middle. Ball might have got tipped at the line. It's incomplete, intended for Rasheen Ali. Flag is down here. Please. Okay, here we go. Holding on the offense. That's Andrew Voorhees, the starting left guard. He takes the penalty, and that is going to push the Ravens back a little bit more. Penalty was accepted. Steelers didn't do the whole, decline, take the, incompletion thing there. First and 20 now, 1:52 left to go. Lamar takes a snap, back to pass with time. Still with time. Now he's going to check it down here to Ali, and Ali is going to be tackled down here at the 23. That tackle there from Wilson was a little high. I was surprised they didn't call a face mask there, but I guess he got his shoulder pad. Ball is back now at the 22. Ravens are running hurry up here. 1:25 and counting down. Lamar to pass again. Jackson gets rid of it. Zay Flowers catches that behind the line of scrimmage, and he is going to be tackled after a 3-yard gain inbounds. So the clock's still rolling now. It's going to go under a minute by the time the Ravens snap this ball again. 3rd and 11. Clock at 1:05, 04, 03, 02, 01. Lamar is moving Zay now. They're now going to be under 55 seconds when they snap it. They do now. Lamar to pass again. He's going to step up now. He's going to run. Lamar trying to shift his way forward, and he is going to be tackled inbounds, and he's still short. Short by 2 yards. And the clock continuing to move. It's 4th and 2. Clock is stopping here, and the Ravens, probably not the way they wanted to. They are going to take their final timeout here with 47 seconds left on a 4th and 2. So, might see a situation here. If I'm Mike Tomlin here, you got to make sure everything across the board is correct with your defense here. Ravens just took their final timeout. Let the Ravens line up for this play, and you take your timeout here. You got 2 left. Take one of them right here at 47 seconds. This is the game right here. Come on. Do the right thing, Mike. Let's go here. Back to the comments. Back to that brainless Arthur Smith play call. DK's been hot all day. You rely on your practice squad guy. Absolutely. I mean, still confused as hell. Where's Watt? I think he's out there. Steelers have been fast changing guys out on the field. 4th and 2 here. Ali, the back here to Lamar's right. Timeout. Tomlin's not calling it. Lamar back to pass here. Lamar, pressure around him. Fires. Caught by Isaiah Likely for the first down at the 43. Clock continues to roll inbounds here. Ravens are going to spike it at the 42, their own 42 for clarification. Exactly 30 seconds left. I would have taken my time out there just to make sure. They did the first step right, make sure Lamar is bottled up. But they have not done well in the second part, which is take him down. Has Lamar been sacked at all today? Does anybody know that? Let me go here, ESPN. He was sacked 1 time for 8 yards. Feels like that was, years ago right now. 2nd and 10. After the spike from the 42. Steelers rush 4. Lamar to pass again. Firing this time deep over the middle. It's caught there. This time it is the 3rd string tight end, Kolar, inbounds over the middle. The Ravens run up and they spike it again with 16 seconds left. Kolar caught that ball sliding down at about the 42, and then he was able to, get up and dive himself forward even more to about the 39 before he was tapped down. Jeez. 16 seconds left now. Can we use one of our timeouts? Tomlin's standing there. He finally does. All right, it's about damn time. Steelers finally take one of their remaining 2 timeouts. They'll have one more after this. Oh. Steelers Ravens. It does it to you. Goes through all the emotions. All the emotions. Go back here. Thomas Dowdy, what was JPJ doing on that 4th and 2 play or what? Sorry, you're not sorry, I don't know because not specific right there. Way too much space allowed. Story of the year. Agreed. When the quarterback gets to scrambling and buys time at least a little bit, wide receivers are coming wide open way too often. You're allowed to, cover a receiver a little bit more beyond the, 3 or 4 seconds you have to do every time. You're allowed to play through the whistle here. Oh, my goodness. Yeager here. Not going to say what he's saying, but similar feeling here. 2nd and 10 for Baltimore. 16 seconds left, no timeouts. Ali to Lamar's left. Lamar back to pass. He's buying time here, scrambling out to the left. He's now going to throw, caught at the 30-yard line. In bounds and out of bounds was Mark Andrews. It's going to be 3rd and 1. 9 seconds remain. Clock stops there. Both feet inbounds from Andrews before he falls out. What was that from Andrews? I saw someone put up here earlier. Andrews, what? Has what now on the day? Mark Andrews, I assume with that catch, that's now his 2nd catch of the day. Wow. Lamar takes the snap, back to pass here. 7 seconds. Lamar pressure around. He goes down. He's sacked. That's the ball game. Alex Highsmith is the hero. Lamar trying to scramble out He was sacked only one time in this game. The second time was the biggest. And the Steelers overcome the Ravens, overcome a little bit of the officiating. You kind of got to wipe, some of that out now with that likely thing. And they, most importantly, overcome themselves and somehow have won this ball game. The final score, 27-22. Steelers, for the first time, and it feels like forever, get a win. Oh my goodness. They show Aaron Rodgers. He's on the sideline, fired up. Wow. It came down to that play. Lamar again trying to buy time. The Steelers have been wrapping him up at the ankle and in the legs all day long. And finally, they're able to trip him up just enough where he stumbles down and he gets sacked. I don't think on that play they counted a fumble because the ball came loose. That is a sack for Alex Highsmith. Might be one of the biggest of his career. Probably the biggest sack of the season. And the Steelers there, they finally get back in the win column. And they, by some unbelievable works from above, are back in first place of the AFC North at 7-6. Should we be happy about that? Should we be mad about that? I don't know. We'll comprehend all this and probably figure it all out on tomorrow night's stream. But like we said, to begin the stream here, this is AFC North football, and especially between these two teams, anything can happen. You will see the most crazy stuff. You will see the most outrageous gaffes, the greatest feats. Saw a little bit of everything here. And the Steelers are able to walk out of Baltimore with the win. They show the replay again of that Isaiah Likely touchdown catch. That wasn't a touchdown catch. I'm sure that'll be a talking point across all social media platforms and sports broadcast stations tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it here as well tomorrow night. Just an unbelievable ending to another roller coaster of a ride that is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Back to your comments here before we log off for the night. You guys getting your reactions in there. Game over. Let's go. Yes, sir. From Bane. What's going on, Bane? Congratulations to everyone involved. Tomlin saving his job. We did not talk about that, by the way. 13 of you in here right now. We're saving this for tomorrow, but we'll mention it now. Apparently, how Mike Tomlin was, on the hot seat or something more or less. Well, apparently, Ian Rappaport this morning or yesterday came out with something. I think it might have been Adam Schefter. Said the Steelers are not going to fire Mike Tomlin, but they do have a significant decision to pick up his option of his contract next year. And then I think per Rappaport, the Steelers are not going to fire him. So you got some budding sources there a little bit. So we will talk about all that then. This was another wild day, and we're going to take the rest of the night to comprehend this all, and then we'll come back and put it all back out there tomorrow for everyone to talk about. Not going to get into too much of anything else like that Tomlin thing because there is just so much to talk about and not enough time right here. Let's wrap up here with some comments. Jaeger, I'm stressed. Everyone is. Concepts, everyone. Please thank my dog for letting me bite her ear gently, of course, for every play the last 10 minutes. Or Pittsburgh Puppy Magic won this game. That's one way of a stition to help the defense get a critical stop there. Thomas Dowdy, bad coaching, but the players showed out for the W in the essentially 2-game lead now. Indeed there, Thomas. Yeah, I mean, Mike Tomlin, sort of an iffy game from him, but I think the bigger guy to talk about here today is Arthur Smith. That play there almost cost you the game. Terrell Austin, Mike Tomlin's defense, they didn't have any glowing endorsements except for a couple of splash plays. They again, what did Baltimore finish up with, by the way? How many rushing yards? They wrapped up with 217 rushing yards. So, rush defense still ass, but it is, an improvement, I guess. That's a very terrible way of looking at it, but we'll say that. Concept, such a great teammate, allowing my goofy superstition. LOL. My dad in here, his guy coming through. Honestly, probably looking at the top player on defense, maybe Brandon Eccles or James Pierce in competition, but Highsmith had himself a hell of a day, and he got that final sack too, battling through a bit of an ankle issue. He was hobbling on there near the end of the game, so what a game. Great win, says THP Freight Train, with another $2 contribution on the way out. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jaeger, for the kind words. This is going to be a hell of the rest of the night here. Trying to rest the voice here for tomorrow. We'll see if I have one then, but we will definitely be talking about this for a large part of tomorrow night. But we're not done here. Well, I'm not done watching Pittsburgh sports today. I forgot to mention this. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they're going to be in action here in an hour and a half, taking on one of the better Western Conference teams in the Dallas Stars. Forgot to say this, but some big news on the Pens is that they have been active in the roster moves. They brought back Noel Acciari and Justin Brazeau off injured reserve. Harrison Brunick and Jack St. Ivany, they've been recalled from their conditioning loans in the AHL. Boko Amama sent back down to Wilkes-Barre. Evgeny Malkin will not play tonight for the Penguins. That's the headliner. He is day-to-day with an undisclosed injury. Did not practice yesterday for the Pens. It was said to be a maintenance day. Turns out not just a maintenance day. We'll see what's up with him probably tomorrow night. So hopefully we get more answers then, and hopefully we're able to come up with the answers on how the hell the Steelers were able to win that ball game between now and tomorrow night. So, Jaeger, again, very true words. Think I'm 5 years older. Definitely think I am. So many missed sacks all game. Perfect timing not to miss. Agreed there. Got so close all game long, and finally they were able to make it count when it mattered most there. Alex Highsmith comes through. So that was fun. Very fun time here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all. Almost 4 hours on stream here with you fine folks. And this one was another game that shaved years off of our lives. But hey, at least we're suffering through the same thing together. So I think that's going to wrap things up here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We will meet back here tomorrow night to recap this game, go over winners and losers. We'll talk some of that Mike Tomlin stuff as well. We'll talk about the Penguins and how they do tonight. We'll also maybe recap a little bit of what they did Thursday night for those of you who weren't here for that live stream. We'll talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates again, more reactions to the trade they made Thursday night. So all of that, much more. We got a ton to talk about here tomorrow. Hope you guys all come back loaded with thoughts, opinions, questions. It'll be a hell of a live stream, probably a decently long one to go along with it. So Burrow also sold like Lamar did, says Concepts. Glad to hear that. Their Concepts. I'm seeing it now. Final score, Bills 39, Bengals 34. Joe Burrow, 4 touchdown passes, but 2 interceptions. Wow, that's a Joe Burrow stat line right there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap things up. Thank you all for tuning in here tonight. Appreciate it. As always, I am going to try to comprehend all of this just like you, and we will talk about it all tomorrow night. So thank you. On your way out, if you have not done so already, subscribe to the channel. turn on notifications so that you never miss a thing here on the channel. Again, like this live stream, share this live stream, leave a comment after the fact. I can see those. Drop you a like there, leave a comment on your comment to boot. So please go and do that right now. And we will be back here tomorrow night breaking down everything. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your Sunday night. You can now, for the first time in a while, enjoy watching other football games knowing your team won. And we will break this all down here tomorrow. Last comment from Concepts. Thoughts on the likely TD reversal? I would have called it a TD probably. But hey, I mean, the NFL had this whole 3-step verification thing for a catch. That's going to be definitely a talking point, not just for tomorrow, but for probably, off-season discussions as well. So this is, that's going to be talked about a bunch. Takes a little bit of the validity of the win out of the Steelers, but hey, a win's a win, and now we're above them in the AFC North race. So thank you all. Have a good rest of your Sunday night. Back here tomorrow with a lot to talk about. See you then. Peace. Steelers finally back in the win column.